Chapter 811. Don't bother with her. She's just shy. Wang Kai shrugged and waved his hand nonchalantly. Then, he hurriedly sent a telepathic message. Xuan Miao, give Bin Xiao some face. Only once. If there's a second time, you know the consequences. Xuan Miao replied coldly. Then, with a cold expression, she followed behind without another word. However, when such a scene entered Fatty Lu's eyes, he had a different thought. Young Master Kai, you've really changed. You actually dared to show off in front of your Uncle Lu. Fatso Lu cursed through gritted teeth. Wang Kai frowned and smiled calmly. I'm not showing off. Bin Xiao is really awesome. He's so awesome that the heavens and earth collapse, and the sun and moon lose their light. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000,000 experience points and 1,000 bragging points. Go F***CK yourself. Who was it that lent you the Black Dragon Blade in the Shenwu Academy? Who was it that accompanied you to fight the Holy Sons of the Supreme Taoist Sect and the Endless Treasures Pavilion at Phoenix Mountain? Who? After Fatso Lu rambled on for a long time, in the end he was so tired that he was gasping for breath. Only then did Wang Kai wave his hand and open his mouth with a smile. Damn Fatty, aren't you just trying to swindle something? Say it, what do you want? This young master will get it for you. Hee, young Master Kai. At least you have a good eye. It's very simple. The last of the three beauties must be mine. Fatso Lu chuckled softly. The fourth sinner, the goddess of love, Piao Shui. The corner of Wang Kai's mouth twitched when he heard that. Even Piao Yu had to admit that she was inferior to that person. He couldn't even defeat Piao Yu right now. So how is he supposed to capture her? Yes, it's very simple. When Bin Xiao sees her in the future, he will definitely wave his hand and have her submit. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled calmly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000,000 experience points and 1,000 bragging points. Forget it. Looking at your face, it's clear that you're just bragging again, right? Uncle Lu, you don't need the three beauties anymore. Just snatch the karma great Tao fragment that the ascetic Buddha cultivates. When Uncle Lu becomes powerful, you can go look for beauties yourself, Fatso Lu said with a disdainful pout. Hearing this, black lines appeared on Wang Kai's forehead. The pretentious act he had just put on was now broken. If Bin Xiao wants to, Wang Kai, Lady Xuan Miao said with a frown. She is the goddess of the extraterrestrials, and her senses are extremely terrifying. If she hears the news, even if I and Piao Yu and I working together can't protect Teet. She was so strong. Even the combined forces of Lady Mystic and Piao Yu were no match for love goddess Piao Shui. How awesome would that be? Damn it. When this young master reaches the peak of the 9th grade Star King realm, let's see how many people in this starry sky of the Yellow Domain will dare to act tough in front of this young master. Wang Kai choked back his words and thought to himself. He was indeed not strong enough. It was too sullen to be suppressed all the time. It even gave Wang Kai the idea of bragging until he was invincible in the extraterrestrial star. Ascetic Buddha, F***CKU. Get out here and die for your Uncle Lu. Today, your Uncle Lu will slap you 1,000 times, kick you 1,000 times, and then slap you until you die. Buzz. As a magnificent and huge palace came into view, Fatso Lu also shouted at the palace. In response, Wang Kai shrugged and didn't say much. As his brother, he should be so arrogant and insufferably arrogant. He didn't care who they were, and if they didn't agree with him, he could just kill them. Could it be that he's scared away? Fatso Lu said with a speechless expression after seeing no response for a long time. Buzz. Wang Kai's eyes narrowed slightly when he heard this. He immediately released his mind to search the palace, only to find that there was no one there. Thousands of beauties, the ascetic Buddha, and his subordinates had all disappeared. Escaped? Wang Kai frowned and continued to release his mind to cover the entire Ku Tua star zone. However, he still couldn't find any trace of the ascetic Buddha. He must have left the Ku Tua star zone. He knew that the Karma Great Way couldn't restrict you. With his cultivation, he was no match for you. so he wisely chose to escape, Xuan Miao Empress said indifferently. Hearing this, Wang Kai's mouth twitched, and he said with a speechless expression, "If I knew that the ascetic Buddha was so cowardly, I would have trapped him on the Ku-Tu'a star. Then, there's no need for this star to exist. Instead of letting those cultivators continue to suffer here, it's better to let them be destroyed along with the star." Buzz. Suddenly, before Wang Kai and Fatso Lu could react, the Ku-Tu'a star zone was pointed at by Xuan Miao Empress and disappeared without a trace. There was no sound, nor was there any abnormal phenomenon. Just like that, it disappeared in an extremely strange and terrifying way. "Damn, young Master Kai, your girl is a little scary." Fatso Lu swallowed his saliva and secretly transmitted his voice. Wang Kai's face paled when he heard this. The power of that finger was definitely terrifyingly strong. A star was gone just like that, and there was no sound at all. "You're back." Just now, an ugly cultivator ran out of the Ku-Tu'a star in a hurry. "I felt disgusted when I saw him, so I killed him. I didn't expect you to be more ruthless than me. You actually destroyed the entire Ku-Tu'a star." As Piao Yu's voice sounded, a huge space warship slowly floated over. Hearing her words, Wang Kai and the others looked at each other, speechless. Where's the corpse of the ugly cultivator you killed now?" Wang Kai said helplessly. Without a doubt, it must be the Ku-Tu'a Buddha. At the same time, they felt sorry for the Ku-Tu'a Buddha. He wanted to run, but couldn't. "There. I was a little ruthless. I beat him into a pulp. Who asked him to be so ugly? He actually dared to appear in front of me and threatened to make me his concubine and give him the warship." Piao Yu swayed her body and floated towards Wang Kai. "Damn, is she one of the 3 great beauties, the goddess of the mystic moon sect, Piao Yu?" Fatso Lu's eyelids twitched. Xuan Miao Empress had just destroyed a star with a flick of her finger. Now, Goddess Piao Yu had beaten the Ku-Tu'a Buddha into a pulp. This gave Fatso Lu an illusion that the so-called 3 great beauties were too ruthless. If he really married her, wouldn't he have to live in fear every day? Damn it, no matter what, Uncle Lu doesn't want the 3 great beauties anymore. Fatso Lu secretly swore. He was really shocked by the methods of Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu. In Fatso Lu's opinion, perhaps only Wang Kai would be able to endure it. Chapter 812. Oh, F***CK. He's been beaten to a pulp. Even his storage space is gone, right? What a pity for those thousands of beauties and countless treasures. Wang Kai grinned as he looked at the bitter Buddha's mangled body. He shook his head and sighed helplessly. He had thought that he would make a fortune from the bitter Buddha. Who would have thought that he would meet Piao Yu and end up with nothing left of him? More importantly, even the remnant of the great way of karma was gone. The remnant will not be damaged. Once the cultivator dies, the remnant will automatically dissipate and find the next suitable cultivator of the great way of karma to cultivate, Xuan Miao Empress said faintly. Does that mean that I have to obtain the remnant before killing the cultivator of the remnant? Once I kill the cultivator of the great way of karma first, the remnant will automatically disappear? Hearing this, Wang Kai raised his eyebrows slightly. He could not help but look at Fatso Lu. He touched his nose and asked, "Do you feel anything strange? You are a monk after all. The great way of karma should have chosen you." In response, Fatso Lu shook his head and touched his body. Finally, he said in a daze, "I don't feel anything wrong. Besides, I am no longer a monk." Fatso Lu did not receive the recognition of the remnant of the great way of karma. This proved that the remnant of the great way of karma was still very upright. It seems that the bitter Buddha was able to cultivate the great way of karma. He must have snatched it from someone, right? Wang Kai shrugged and could not help but shake his head and smile. Although he had saved Fatso Lu this time, he had wasted a lot of benefits. Wang Kai did not know what was equivalent to banknotes in the outer realm. He had wanted to make a fortune, but now it seemed that he could only give up on that idea. "Is this your new little brother?" "Ha." Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes and sized up Fatso Lu with amazement. She was truly shocked by his plump appearance. As a cultivator, it was really rare to see someone this fat. Hee, sister-in-law, you've guessed wrongly. I'm not his underling. If we were to go back to the time when we first met, he was still my underling. At that time, he was nothing but a dog's fart. He could even be blown to death by others when he bragged. Fatso Lu patted his big belly and laughed rather proudly. Whoosh! Hearing this, both Xuanmiao Empress and Piaoyu looked at Wang Kai in surprise. He had never thought that he would actually have a day where he would be someone's underling. Cut the crap. That's because Bin Xiao gave in to you and spoiled you. Otherwise, would you be able to live until now? Wang Kai snorted coldly with a dark face and a rather unfriendly tone. The Wang Kai who was bullied by Fatso Lu and the others was not himself, but the original owner of this body. Yes, yes, yes. Whatever you say, it is. I won't argue with you. Who asked you to be so awesome now? Fatso Lu pretended to be magnanimous and waved his hand repeatedly. In this regard, Wang Kai was also very helpless. He did not care about it at that moment. He chuckled and did not say anything else. I'll let you show off more. You've already been blocked for so long. Wang Kai secretly transmitted his voice with a smile. Fatso Lu's face trembled when he heard this. He chuckled and transmitted his voice. Then let me beat you up to show off how awesome I am, okay? F*CKU. If you continue to take advantage of me, I'll immediately beat you up until you lose 150 kilograms. Wang Kai snorted with a dark face. 150 kilograms? Your Uncle Lu is only around 400 kilograms. If I lose 300 kilograms, can I still live? Fatso Lu's body trembled violently as he swallowed his saliva dryly. Although they did not hear what Wang Kai and Fatso Lu were secretly talking about, Lady Xuanmiao and Piaoyu were secretly surprised. It was very strange. What kind of person was Wang Kai in the past? From Fatso Lu's simple words, they could tell that Wang Kai in the past was often bullied. What was it that made him so powerful? It had to be said that once a woman's curiosity was piqued, it was like a torrent of yellow water that could not be stopped. Who is the closest person to this place? Where is it? Wang Kai frowned and secretly urged his mind to ask. 10,000 miles east, 100 change starfield, green and red ghosts, wild lion genie, Yangwei. Host, this search consumed a total of 40,000 bragging points. 100 change starfield, green and red ghosts, wild lion genie, and pure yang overlord body Yangwei were all there. Dao 100 change starfield, 10,000 miles east. As Lady Xuanmiao and the others boarded the warship, Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and looked at Piaoyu. Hearing this, Piaoyu blinked her beautiful eyes. She did not know what he wanted to do, but she was extremely curious about what he said. It was the same when they searched for Ku Tua Starfield. It was clearly his first time in the extraterritorial starfield. How did he know the location and distance of each starfield so well? How did you know the map of the extraterritorial starfield? Piaoyu could not hold back her curiosity and asked. Lady Xuanmiao was also very puzzled about this. She said indifferently, in the extraterritorial starfield, there are no more than 5 forces that know the map of the entire yellow region. Hearing this, Wang Kai's mouth twitched slightly. Lady Xuanmiao's words naturally meant that she did not want him to lie casually to deceive her. Such a simple question, and you still want to ask Ben Xiao? The yellow region was created by Ben Xiao. You actually want to ask Ben Xiao how he knows the map of the extraterritorial starfield? Aren't you stupid? Wang Kai shrugged and smiled disdainfully. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Whoosh! Lady Xuanmiao and Piaoyu's eyes turned, and they directly chose to ignore this. Since Wang Kai was unwilling to say, there was no way to continue asking. Furthermore, the two women were extremely clear that if they asked further, it would definitely lead to Wang Kai bragging even more. If that was really the case, wouldn't the gains not make up for the losses? There are no star paths 10,000 miles east from here. If you want to reach there, you will need at least 7 days. Furthermore, if you encounter any obstacles along the way, it will take even longer and there is the danger of being destroyed, Piao Yu said with a frown. Obstacles from star paths? No star paths? Wang Kai did not know about this at all. He also did not expect that there would be so many twists and turns in the extraterritorial star field. However, it made sense when he thought about it. In the extraterritorial star field, there were only stars. If one did not land on a star, there would not even be a foothold. The star paths that Piao Yu mentioned were probably tracks that could be found when one did not have a foothold. It's fine. Don't worry. Let's walk slowly. As for the obstructions of the star streams, they are nothing. As long as they appear, this young master can destroy them with a single breath. You may not know this, but the so-called star streams are nothing more than this young master's pee back then. Wang Kai waved his hand and said in an unconcerned manner, "Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points." Chapter 8:13. In the endless starry sky, a starry sky warship sped past. They dodged the scattered small stars and the remnants of the stars that had been left behind by the great battle. The 4 people on the starry sky warship didn't care about this. They were all focused on sitting in front of a square table with different expressions on their faces, playing mahjong. I'm done. Suddenly, after Fatso Lu hit an 80,000 star stone, Piao Yu immediately pushed all the mahjong tiles on the table over with a smile. F*CKU. Why did you hit 80,000? Wang Kai's face immediately darkened when he saw this, and he said with an annoyed expression, Fatso Lu felt extremely wronged. Just now, Wang Kai kept winking at him and gestured for him to hit 80,000. Now that he hit it, he actually didn't hit it. Little did he know that Wang Kai wanted him to hit 8 of a kind. Hee, you're quite fair. You didn't secretly transmit your voice. Not bad, not bad. I have a whole new level of respect for you. Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes and laughed happily. There are restrictions set up by you and me here. It's impossible for him to secretly transmit his voice. Xuanmiao Empress said indifferently. Wang Kai was filled with disdain after hearing this. Any kind of forbidding aura would be useless against him. He was purposely giving them a chance to use it. As the saying went, let the other party taste some sweetness first, then give them a head-on blow. That was the way of the king. However, your way of playing mahjong is quite interesting. It's just that your mahjong skills are too bad. You only lost 1 game. Why get angry? Xuanmiao Empress said indifferently. On the side, Piao Yu also smiled sweetly and said yes. No matter what, he's your brother who played with you since you were young. Why get angry at him? I can't bear it. Hee, these 2 little girls are still trying to sow discord? They're really good. I've only just taught them how to play mahjong, and they've already understood the essence of it. Not bad, not bad. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and sneered with a playful expression. Fatso Lu had a bitter face at this moment. He nodded pitifully and said, Yes, I'm easy to bully. Sisters, you must help me. Of course. Next time, give me a shot and let him lose all his money. Piao Yu giggled. At this, Xuanmiao Empress nodded in agreement. Enough nonsense, let's begin. I'll owe you the 10,000 star king stones for this round. Wang Kai shrugged and said, Oh, forget it. I'll just owe you for now. However, I'll definitely pay you in full next time. Or else. Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes. The threat was self-evident. If I don't play you to death, can Bin Xiao still be called Wang Kai? However, the stakes were a little higher. 10 million star king stones for this round. Do you dare? Wang Kai curled his lips in disdain. 10 million star king stones? Swoosh. When these words came out, even Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu's expressions changed slightly. Star king stones were one of the most precious treasures in the yellow region starry sky. It was also the top currency used by all martial artists. 10,000 star king stones were nothing to Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu. However, 10 million was definitely an astronomical figure. Only the ruler of a star region could take out such a sum. Don't you think your stakes are a little too high? Piao Yu said with a forced smile. She had won this round, but whether she could win the next round or not, she had no confidence at all. After all, this wasn't a martial arts competition. It was all based on luck. Even if there was skill involved, Xian Miao Empress and Piao had just learned it. How could they know? It is indeed a little too high, Xian Miao Empress said indifferently. As the second strongest person in their respective star regions, they were famous in the yellow region starry sky. The two women naturally weren't willing to cheat to win. This was a matter of face. Therefore, for the time being, they didn't dare agree directly. If they really lost and couldn't take out 10 million Star King stones, how would they compensate? When the time came, wouldn't they be led by the nose by Wang Kai? If you don't dare, just say so. In the future, don't act tough in front of Ben Xiao. Since you don't dare to bet 10 million, let's bet 1 million. Wang Kai said with a shrug. 1 million. Such an amount still put Xian Miao Empress and Piao Yu in a difficult position. It wasn't that they couldn't take out 1 million Star King stones, but if they did, they would really go bankrupt. However, looking at Wang Kai's arrogant appearance, Xian Miao Empress and Piao Yu were unwilling. In the end, they could only grit their teeth and nod in agreement. All right, then let's begin, you two little pieces of trash. Wang Kai squinted his eyes and smiled. Then, he quickly set up the mahjong table. 30,000. As another round began, Wang Kai pretended to have an ugly expression and secretly sent a voice transmission to Fatso Lu. Fatso Lu, who was in a state of high concentration, didn't dare to reply. After all, Wang Kai could ignore the restriction, but he couldn't. 30,000. It's over. Wahahaha. Smack. As Fatso Lu slammed the 30,000 on the table, Wang Kai also fiercely pushed the cards over. You might not know, but Bin Xiao used to be the famous Ma Xian. As long as you bet with this young master, you've always lost every bet. Give me the money. Give me the money. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and smiled proudly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Buzz. Bang. Smack. In an instant, Piao Yu angrily attacked and smashed the table into pieces. The mahjong tiles made of Star King stones were also smashed into pieces. You cheated. Piao Yu's pretty face was frosty as she angrily rebuked. On the side, Xuanmiao Empress also frowned. She, who was always calm, could no longer maintain her composure. After all, as an expert, the last thing she wanted to happen was to lose. But now she had lost. Not only had she lost 1 million Star King stones, but she had also lost face. Bullshit. Don't say that Bin Xiao cheated just because you can't win. There are restrictions here, and Bin Xiao can't transmit his voice. Fatso Lu also gave you a shot last time. Unfortunately, it landed on Bin Xiao. You can only blame your bad luck. Wang Kai stood up and snorted disdainfully. Piao Yu was speechless. Indeed, the surroundings were restricted by her and Xuanmiao Empress. It was impossible for Wang Kai to transmit his voice to Fatso Lu. We'll owe you this round. Let's play another round. Piao Yu had no choice but to blush and speak in an extremely low voice. Owe you? You actually said you owed me? The second strongest expert of the Mystic Moon sect, the famous goddess Piao Yu of the Yellow Region Starry Sky, a Star King realm expert, actually said you owed me? Where's your shame? Wang Kai frowned and said disdainfully. Impudent. You also said you owed me just now. Why can't this goddess say it? Piao Yu's pretty face became redder and redder as she spoke. Bin Xiao has never been shameless. If you're shameless as well, then you owe me. Wang Kai spread out his hands and said shamelessly. Whoosh. You. His appearance immediately made Piao Yu anxious. For a moment, she was speechless. Chapter 814. All right. Let's play another round. What do you think, big sisters? Fatso Lu's eyes darted around when he saw that the situation wasn't right. He tried to be the peacemaker with a smile. However, his persuasion didn't satisfy Piao Yu and the Xuanmiao Empress. Instead, the two of them glared at him fiercely. Shut up. Damn fatty, it's all your fault. If you don't know how to play, then don't play. Why can't you play? Why must you play 30,000? Don't you know how to play 4? Piao Yu frowned and reprimanded him. To the side, The Shuamiao Empress had an indifferent expression as she snorted. Playing 70,000 is still better than playing 30,000. How would I know what you're talking about? Fatso Lu pouted and grumbled in a low voice. He had originally wanted to mediate between them, but who would have thought that he would become the center of attention? Pay up quickly. 1,000,000 star king stones each. Not a single one less. A dignified empress and a dignified goddess wouldn't go back on their word, right? If news of this got out, would you still have any face in the yellow region starry sky? Wang Kai shrugged and smiled disdainfully. Whoosh! The Shuamiao Empress and Piaoyu became even angrier when they heard this. They glared fiercely at Fatso Lu before waving their jade-like hands and taking out a blue token each. The token was the size of a palm and rectangular. The words Star King were carved on the front. On the back were the words 1,000,000. This is a Star King stone token. In the yellow region starry sky, you can exchange it for 1,000,000 Star King stones at any giant armor chamber of commerce. Piaoyu said coldly. The Shuamiao Empress didn't even bother to say a word. She just threw the Star King stone token at Wang Kai. She was already furious. As a famous powerhouse in the yellow region starry sky, she had never been defeated before. However, she had lost to a small mahjong game. Furthermore, he had lost an entire 1,000,000 Star King stones. If this matter were to spread, everyone would definitely laugh their heads off. His opponents would also look down on him and ridicule him. Giant armor chamber of commerce? Not bad, not bad. Bin Xiao knows. Wang Kai shrugged and put away the 2-star King stone tokens with a smile. Immediately after, Wang Kai turned to Fatty Lu and secretly gave him a signal with his eyes. Seeing this, Fatty Lu's eyes flashed, and he quickly got up and smiled apologetically. Young Master Kai, I'm not convinced. Do you dare to fight again? This time, your Uncle Lu will definitely make you lose everything. You still want to play? Mahjong is for 4 people to play. How can we play with just the 2 of us? Moreover, Bin Xiao has never been afraid of anyone. Bin Xiao, who is known as the numbing deity, has never refused anyone who comes to him. He will beat them up one by one. Wang Kai smiled proudly with his hands behind his back. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000,000 experience and 1,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 5th stage Astral King realm. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through. You have received 10 star source points. Hearing this, the Shuamiao Empress and Piaoyu looked at each other. Their beautiful eyes were filled with disdain as they looked at Wang Kai and Fatty Lu. As famous experts in the yellow region starry sky, how could they not see that the 2 of them were deliberately putting on a show? Wang Kai, this damn fatty also lost. Why don't you give him 1,000,000 Star King stones? Piaoyu blinked her beautiful eyes and sneered mockingly. If you don't want to give it, then pay with your life. I can help you, the Shuamiao Empress said coldly. At this point, the 2 women suspected that Wang Kai and Fatty Lu must have used some method to secretly cheat. Fatty Lu was instantly speechless. He wanted to say something, but didn't know what to say. In his heart, he cursed Wang Kai 100 times. In the end, didn't he get himself into trouble? He is Bin Xiao's brother. As the saying goes, blood brothers don't settle accounts. In that case, why should Bin Xiao accept his Star King stones? What's more, it's up to this young master to decide whether to accept or not. Who asked this young master to be the winner and not you? What? If you don't like it, why don't you bite me? Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and smiled casually. Whoosh! When Piaoyu heard this, she immediately clenched her teeth. However, she was speechless. Indeed, the winner naturally had the right to speak. Blood brothers settle accounts clearly. When did blood brothers not settle accounts clearly? The Shuamiao Empress said indifferently. Bullsh *T. Those who say that blood brothers settle accounts clearly are all pretentious criminals. They clearly want to settle accounts, but they still pretend to be pretentious. Bin Xiao is a magnanimous man. Naturally, he has to do things openly. Wang Kai curled his lips and said disdainfully, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000,000 experience and 1,000 bragging points. Oomph. You have the final say anyway. You can say whatever you want. Piao pouted her red lips. Her beautiful eyes were filled with resentment as she snorted coldly. Both Piao Yu and the Xuanmiao Empress were unwilling to lose 1,000,000 Star King stones. If it was possible, they would even want to kill Wang Kai. If you don't like it, then let's have another round. If you have the ability, then win it back. Otherwise, if the loser talks too much, it will be seen as a sore loser. Wang Kai raised his eyebrows and said indifferently, "Who are you calling a sore loser? Let's have another round." Following Piao Yu's angry rebuke, the Xuanmiao Empress didn't say much and directly nodded in agreement. Are they really coming? What if they cheat again? Piao Yu frowned and said suspiciously. The Xuanmiao Empress was also slightly hesitant. She stared at Wang Kai for a long while before saying, "Then swear? If you cheat, you will be plagued with bad luck for the rest of your life. The Starry Sky God will make you feel pain." The Starry Sky God? Hearing this, Wang Kai's brows immediately furrowed. This was the first time he had heard of such a title. However, looking at the satisfied Piao Yu and the pale Fatso Lu, Wang Kai was even more surprised. What is the Starry Sky God? Is it really that effective? Wang Kai asked doubtfully. The Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu glanced at him coldly, but didn't say anything. Young Master Kai, the Starry Sky God is the ruler of the 4 great galaxies. Once you make an oath to him, it will definitely come true if you break it. You have to think twice before you act. Fatso Lu said bitterly. He even looked like he was about to cry on the spot. If he cheated with Wang Kai again, wouldn't he really be plagued with bad luck for the rest of his life? The ruler of the 4 great galaxies? TSK, screw him. The only true ruler has always been Ben Shao. Who dares to act tough in front of Ben Shao? Wang Kai curled his lips and snorted disdainfully. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000,000 experience and 1,000 bragging points. Buzz. Swoosh, swoosh. Swoosh, swoosh. Suddenly, as soon as Wang Kai's voice fell, the warship also abruptly stopped. At the same time, meteorites from far to near and from small to large were rapidly approaching them. Chapter 8:15. Damn, is it really that effective? Seeing this, Wang Kai's face darkened. He didn't expect the so-called God of the Starry Sky to be so powerful. She had just cursed at him, and now she had attracted the attack of the meteorites. Bastard, you'll get me killed sooner or later. Xuanmiao, take control of the warship with me and avoid the turbulence of space. Piao Yu's curved brows furrowed as she urgently called out with a frosty expression. Buzz. Xuanmiao nodded gently. Without saying anything, she followed Piao Yu and flew to the front of the battleship. They waved their jade-like hands, gathered their stellar sources, and attacked the meteorite. Bang, bang. Rumble, rumble. As the meteors were destroyed by Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu, countless fragments of meteors shot out in all directions like cannonballs. Young Lord Kai, hurry up and apologize to Starry Sky God, otherwise we... Fatty Lu cried out with a bitter face. Looking ahead, more meteors were flying towards them, and suddenly his face turned pale with fright. Apologize to him? What a joke. The awesome Ben Shao, the famous Wang Kai, will sooner or later shock the entire extraterritorial Starry Sky. Countless experts will come to kneel down and lick his boots. How can I apologize to him because of some insignificant turbulence? Wang Kai shrugged and sneered with disdain. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000,000 experience and 1,000 bragging points. Whoosh! As soon as the voice fell, Wang Kai stepped into the air and waved his hand to meet the meteorites. Bang! Wah! However, when the two collided, although the meteorite star was successfully shattered, Wang Kai was also shaken to the point that the blood in his body roiled. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. Back off. You may be an astral king, but if you want to deal with the turbulence, you'll need to be at least an upper-grade astral king. Even we can't last long. Xuanmiao scolded indifferently. That's right. Let's hope that this turbulence lasts for a shorter period of time. With our cultivation, we can only hold on for an hour. If it doesn't dissipate in an hour, we are destined to die here. Piao Yu's beautiful eyes were grave as she spoke in a low voice. Wang Kai's brows immediately frowned when he heard this. He never imagined that the chaotic streams of space would actually be so formidable. Even the two-peak 7th-level Star Kings could only hold on for an hour. As for him, a dignified 5th-grade Star King, he was barely able to resist the attack and was almost heavily injured. How many bragging points do I need to clear this space turbulence? Wang Kai asked with a cold look in his eyes. He already bore a grudge against the Starry Sky God. Regardless of whether the Starry Sky God was the one who had caused the turbulence, it had happened right after Luo Yunyang had insulted him. Luo Yunyang could only say that Luo Yunyang was unlucky. Host, to clear a level 3 space turbulence, based on your current cultivation level, it will cost you 50,000 bragging points. 50,000 bragging points. Upon hearing the prompt, Wang Kai's face grew sullen. He hurriedly activated his consciousness and opened the system page. Host, Wang Kai Profession, Star Warrior Realm. 5th grade Star King Star Technique. Karma Dao Technique Star Technique. Nun Identification. Torch Dragon Eye Equipment. Ever-changing Fan Star Power. Level 5 Star Source Points. 130 Constitution. Invulnerable Guardian Beast. None Bragging Points. 46,000 Experience. 300,000,090,000,000 inch. Even after using up all my bragging points, I'm still short of 4,000. It's not difficult to brag 4 more times, but now I don't even have a single point left. Wang Kai frowned and activated his consciousness to close it. He gritted his teeth helplessly. Now that he had to find Jing Xian and the others, he didn't have enough bragging points. Suddenly experiencing the turbulence of space, he had to spend 50,000 bragging points. Besides, he could clearly see from his system prompt. The turbulence of space was also divided into different levels. For example, the one in front of him was level 3. That required 50,000 bragging points. In that case, how much would he need to resist the higher level turbulence of space? There's no path in this damn extraterrestrial space. Indeed, I can't walk around recklessly. Wang Kai was rather speechless as he sighed inwardly. He looked at Lady Xuanmiao and Piao Yu, who were struggling to withstand the attacks. Their auras had even weakened. Their beautiful faces were extremely pale at this moment. For a moment, even his heart softened. Forget it. Who asked Ben Shao to be so compassionate and can't bear to see beauty suffer? Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Who asked Ben Shao to be so suave that he can make heaven and earth collapse and the sun and moon dim? Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Who asked Ben Shao to be the overlord of the world who can split chaos and split yin and yang? Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Oh my God, young Master Kai, what time is it now and you're still bragging? Do you still want to live? Looking at Wang Kai bragging loudly, Fatso Lu was speechless and even felt like dying. Xuan Miao and Piao Yu, who were blocking the turbulence in front, were furious. If it weren't for the fact that they had to resist the turbulence of space, they would have turned around and hit Wang Kai a few times. All of you move aside. Today, I'll let all of you experience exactly what an absolute strength that shakes the heavens and the earth is. This young master only has to flick his finger to completely disperse such chaotic flows of space. Swoosh! As Wang Kai floated to the middle of the two women, the system notification rang. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Bragging, clear this turbulence of space. Buzz. Congratulations to the host for successfully clearing the turbulence of space. A total of 50,000 bragging points have been consumed. Before Xuanmiao Empress could finish her tirade, the densely packed meteorites in front of her instantly disappeared. In the blink of an eye, there wasn't even a single meteorite left. At this moment, Wang Kai had one hand behind his back and the other pointing in front of him, making a flicking gesture. Everything looked so natural. This, whether it was Xuanmiao or Piao Yu, they were both stunned. They couldn't believe it, but the truth was right in front of them. Young Master Kai, you're so awesome. Fatso Lu swallowed his saliva and gave a thumbs up. He suddenly felt like he had survived a disaster. Hee, it's just turbulence of space. Ben Xiao said before that if he wanted to destroy it, it would only take a flick of his finger. Now you know how awesome Ben Xiao is, right? Not to mention this level 3 turbulence of space. Even if it was a higher level turbulence, it would only take a breath to destroy it. Wang Kai said with a faint smile with his hands behind his back. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Damn it, looks like I have to brag more quickly. Otherwise, if I waste more time, I'll put Jing Xian and the others in more danger. Chapter 816. Although they didn't know what method Wang Kai had used to destroy the turbulence in the starry sky, the Xuanmiao Empress, Piao Yu, and Fatso Lu all secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Even people as strong as the Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu were still afraid of the turbulence in the starry sky. Come. Let's play another round. Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes and swayed her body before Wang Kai. With a wave of her jade-like hand, the table and mahjong tiles appeared. At the same time, the Xuanmiao Empress also had a tacit understanding. She also quickly walked over and sat in front of the table. Her beautiful eyes were filled with curiosity as she stared at Wang Kai. The two women maintained a high level of importance regarding the matter of destroying the turbulence in the starry sky with a flick of his finger. Ben Xiao, why do the two of you look like fools with bad intentions? Wang Kai raised his eyebrows and smiled playfully. Hearing this, the Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu's faces stiffened. They looked at each other and could see the awkwardness in each other's eyes. Husband, what are you saying? How could we have bad intentions towards you? Or rather, the stakes of this round are very beneficial to you. Piao Yu covered her face and laughed coquettishly, trying her best to hide her awkwardness. Wang Kai's frown deepened. He felt that there was something wrong with these two women. Previously, they were very reluctant to play another round, but now they were taking the initiative to ask. Furthermore, they were so enthusiastic. Wang Kai wouldn't believe that they didn't have ulterior motives, even if he was beaten to death. Very beneficial to me? Let's hear it. If Ben Xiao is tempted, he might play with you. You should know that for a mahjong genius like Ben Xiao to play with you, it would be the blessing of 8 lifetimes. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 6th grade Astral King realm. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through. You have received 10 star source points. It's very simple. If we lose, each of us will take out 1 million star king stones. If you lose, we don't need you to take out star king stones. We only need you to tell us how to break through the chaotic streams of space. Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes and laughed. At this moment, Xuanmiao Empress also gently nodded and said faintly, "That's right." When he heard this, Wang Kai suddenly reacted. So it turns out that these two women came for the sake of finding the method to deal with the turbulence in the starry sky. Ben Xiao naturally wouldn't let him off if he came looking for trouble. How was he going to break the turbulence in the starry sky? Of course, he solved it with a flick of his finger. It's such an easy question, yet he still wants to bet 1 million star kingstones with Ben Xiao. He's really a dead pig that doesn't fear boiling water. Wang Kai frowned, narrowed his eyes, and sneered in his heart. Now, he really hoped that he would lose. At that time, as long as he told them that it was a space turbulence that could be destroyed with a flick of his finger, what would they think? What kind of expression would they have? Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. How is it? Could it be that my husband is a coward and doesn't dare to bet? Piao waved her slender fingers and stroked the mahjong tiles on the table. Her beautiful eyes deliberately revealed a look of contempt. Regarding this, Wang Kai really wanted to raise his head and laugh. He shrugged and smiled faintly. Of course I dare, but I'm afraid that you don't have any Star King stones to bet. Whoosh! When he said this, Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu's expressions froze once again. Even their smiles looked extremely stiff at this moment. Indeed, 1,000,000 Star King stones was already their limit. If they wanted to take out another 1,000,000 Star King stones, it would be a fool's dream. Even if they wanted to rob, they wouldn't have the time to do so. Xuan Miao, did you hear that? He actually said that we can't take out 1,000,000 Star King stones. Piao Yu covered her face and laughed coquettishly. In response, Xuan Miao Empress forced a smile and said faintly, yes, he doesn't believe it. F*CK me. These 2B* cheese really knew how to act tough. Seeing this scene, Wang Kai was truly speechless. They were clearly insisting that they had Star King stones, but they were acting as if it was really the case. Do you think you have it just because you say so? At the very least, we have to set a rule. If you can't take it out when the time comes, what should we do? Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. He couldn't be bothered to force them to take out the Star King stones now, because Wang Kai knew very well that they couldn't take out 1,000,000 Star King stones. He didn't directly force them to take out the proof because he wanted to set a trap. If they didn't have Star King stones, they could naturally give something else. As for what they could give, that was up to Wang Kai. All right, as you wish. Set a rule. Tell me what kind of rule. How we set it. Piao Yu pursed her red lips and forced herself to be calm. To the side, Xuan Miao Empress didn't have much confidence either. Cold sweat appeared on her charming forehead, and her jade-like hands under her sleeves couldn't help but clench. She was afraid that Wang Kai would set some despicable rule. If they really did lose, wouldn't they be pushing themselves into a fire pit? Very simple. Swear to Ben Xiao's 100th brother, the god of stars. If you can't take out 1,000,000 Star King stones to Ben Xiao after losing, then write a contract to sell your body. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Contract to sell your body? A contract to sell your body? And to swear to the god of stars. Hearing this, Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu's beautiful eyes widened. Even as strong as they were, they couldn't maintain their calm. This bet was indeed a bit too big. What's wrong? You don't dare? If you don't dare, then don't show off in the future. You want to know how to break the space turbulence? Is it something you should know? Wait until you're as strong as Ben Xiao and shine brightly on the world. Then you can ask Ben Xiao. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled disdainfully. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Hearing this, the two women's faces turned cold. They were extremely dissatisfied with Wang Kai's praise of him and belittling of them. Xuan Miao, so what if we bet with him? He's been suppressed by our secret technique and can't communicate with that damn fatty. But we can. Plus, with his cultivation, he can't detect us. Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes and secretly transmitted her voice. Hearing this, Xuan Miao Empress's beautiful eyes flashed with hesitation. Her heart was filled with unwillingness and helplessness. A mighty cultivator of the yellow region, starry sky, wanted to cheat? Xuan Miao Empress couldn't accept this. Chapter 817. However, looking at Wang Kai's arrogant appearance and his disrespectful words, Xuan Miao Empress couldn't help but feel angry. Fine, but have you thought about it? He has many strange tricks. If we really lose... Xuan Miao Empress frowned and transmitted her voice. Xuan Miao Empress had always been concerned about Wang Kai's strangeness and mysteriousness. For example, he had strangely escaped from her control. Xuan Miao Empress could not understand this. So what if we lose? We signed a contract and swore to the starry sky god that when the time comes, we just have to snatch the contract back. Isn't that fine? He didn't say that he wouldn't let us destroy the contract. Piao covered her face and secretly transmitted her voice with a smile. Hearing this, Xuanmiao Empress's beautiful eyes flashed. She could not help but transmit her voice in admiration. Indeed, in terms of scheming, I am not as mysterious as you. You, damn you, Xuanmiao, are you praising me or insulting me? Piao immediately gritted her teeth and transmitted her voice with displeasure. Xuanmiao Empress ignored her and looked at Wang Kai with her beautiful eyes, secretly worried. Even if she had thought of all the countermeasures, Xuanmiao Empress still felt that she could not catch Wang Kai. Have you finished discussing? Damn, you aren't thinking of secretly cheating, are you? Wang Kai stared and pretended to be shocked. Whoosh! Hearing this, Piao Yu's face froze. She quickly smiled apologetically and said, How could we? We are the dignified goddess and empress. Why would we do something so despicable as cheating? Don't compare us to you. Nonsense. When has Ben Xiao ever cheated? I've always been open and above board. I've always been honest and upright. I've never done anything deceitful. People call me a handsome and magnanimous gentleman, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and smiled proudly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Since that's the case, let's begin. After Piao Yu's voice sounded, Wang Kai and the rest sat around the table. Their eyes swept over each other. Strange scheming looks could be seen in their eyes. Although he didn't know what the two of them secretly discussed, Wang Kai could guess that they would definitely cheat. Right now, there were only two ways to cheat. First, he could use his supreme cultivation to steal the tiles. Secondly, they could secretly send messages to each other and fire at each other. Only these two methods were the most direct and the least troublesome. It was more suitable for the two of them who had just learned how to play mahjong. Seal all the mahjong tiles. Don't let anyone change them. Then, seal off the surrounding space. Don't let anyone other than me and Fatso, Lu secretly send messages. Wang Kai frowned. While he was writing the cards, he secretly used his mind to communicate with the system. Host, your bragging value is insufficient. You are unable to complete any request. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai's face suddenly darkened. The corner of his mouth twitched, and he suddenly had the urge to curse. Wasn't this pushing him into a fire pit? Now, he could only secretly pray that Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu would not cheat by changing their tiles. Even if they secretly sent messages, it would be better than directly changing their tiles. Wang Kai frowned. He flipped his hand and sent out 30,000 points. In his heart, he secretly used his mind to ask, how many bragging points do I need to change my tiles? Host, if you don't let others find out, each tile requires 10,000 bragging points. Each tile requires 10,000 bragging points? If he changed them all, wouldn't it be more than 100,000? Wang Kai's face immediately darkened. Now, he could only give up on the idea of changing his tiles and cheating. At the same time, he stared at Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu. After a few more rounds, Piao Yu's beautiful eyes blinked. She secretly said, I'll stick 7. I'll stick 1. Xuanmiao Empress replied, I don't have 1. I don't have 7 either. The two women sent messages. In the end, each of them had the tiles they needed, but they said they did not have any. If Wang Kai knew about this situation, he would definitely laugh his head off. It was obvious that the two women wanted to stick. After all, besides punishing Wang Kai, they could also obtain 1 million star kingstones from him. As the saying goes, if one party wins, 3 parties lose. Fatty, give me 30,000 and 60,000. In order to deal with the two of them, I can only stick a little. Wang Kai frowned and secretly sent a message. But young Master Kai, all I've caught are F** King Cops. Don't talk about 10,000. I don't even have 1 cylinder. Fatty Lou bitterly said. It was fine if all he caught were cops, but he could not even hit them. Seeing that the game was about to end, he still did not have a single card. F*CK. These 2B* cheese must have secretly done something. In order to prevent Ben Xiao from beating them, they secretly changed Fatty Lu's tiles. Wang Kai's face darkened as he secretly snorted. Now, he could not count on Fatty Lu. He could only count on Xuanmiao Empress and Piao Yu to light up the cannon. 1. Smack! It stuck. Suddenly, before Wang Kai could think of a countermeasure, Fatty Lu flipped his hand and slapped one of the cards out. Xuanmiao Empress also flipped her hand and pushed her tiles to the side. The joy on her face was clearly visible. This was probably the first time in her life, right? You must have changed Fatty Lu's tiles. Piao Yu was so angry that her delicate body trembled. Only then did she see that Fatty Lu's tiles were full of cops. Moreover, they were all cards that could not be stuck. She did not change Fatty Lu's tiles at all. This proved that it was Xuanmiao Empress who did it. Wang Kai wanted to change, but Piao Yu did not believe that he had the ability to play tricks under her nose. More importantly, Xuanmiao Empress was a cheat. A loss is a loss. How can you say that I cheated? Remember, give me 1,000,000 star king stones as soon as possible. Xuanmiao Empress smiled faintly. A look of disdain flashed in her beautiful eyes. Indeed, Xuanmiao Empress had changed Fatty Lu's tiles just now. She had used a method that did not understand conspiracy to deceive Piao Yu. Similarly, she had also deceived Wang Kai, because everyone present knew very well that Xuanmiao Empress did not seem to be the type to play tricks. But she just had to play him, and she had killed him with one move. You bastard! Bang! Smack! Piao Yu slammed the table and stood up. Once again, she smashed the mahjong tiles and table into pieces. Originally, Piao Yu had thought that since she was going to join forces with Xuanmiao Empress, she would not use other methods to scheme. But who would have thought that Xuanmiao Empress, who was the worst at scheming, would scheme against her? It doesn't matter if you don't take out 1,000,000 star king stones. When the time comes, I will announce it to the world, Xuanmiao Empress said faintly. You? Piao Yu's face froze when she heard this. Her beautiful eyes turned misty. She was so angry that she felt wronged. Chapter 8:18. Isn't it just a mere 1,000,000 star king stones? If you can't afford it, Ben Xiao can pay for you. However, you have to sign a contract to sell yourself to Ben Xiao. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled indifferently. Whoosh! Hearing this, Piao Yu frowned. The mist in her beautiful eyes became more obvious. She suddenly felt like she was being bullied by them. However, the truth was that Piao Yu was too good at scheming. She had underestimated Xuanmiao Empress and lost the entire game. You'll pay for her? Don't forget, you still have to pay me 1,000,000 star king stones, Xuanmiao Empress said indifferently with a slightly unhappy expression. It wasn't easy for her to turn the tables on Piao Yu, but she still had to let her escape danger. Although Wang Kai paying for her and making her a servant was a pretty good punishment, Xuanmiao Empress didn't want Piao Yu and Wang Kai to get too close. After all, both sides were competing to bring Wang Kai back to their respective star domains within 3 months. Ben Xiao's family is huge. Isn't a mere 2,000,000 star king stones a drop in the ocean? Besides, if you want to know how Ben Xiao broke the turbulence of the stars, you don't have to pay 1,000,000 star king stones. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1,000,000 experience and 1,000 bragging points. Okay, I'll sign a contract to sell myself. Piao Yu had no choice but to grit her teeth and nod in agreement. Rather than fall into Xuanmiao Empress's hands, she might as well let Wang Kai be proud for a while. You want to temporarily sign a contract to sell yourself so that you can snatch it back and destroy it later, right? Xuanmiao Empress said indifferently. I've never thought of that. But you, your majesty, have a very strange and sinister way of thinking, Piao Yu said coldly. She already hated Xuanmiao Empress. Who knows who's more sinister? I won't argue with you. Xuanmiao Empress snorted disdainfully. Well, you can now swear to the starry sky god that you will become Ben Xiao's servant. The time limit is 1 year. Also, You are not allowed to have any improper thoughts or do anything to Ben Shao. Otherwise, you will die. Ben Shao is kind and doesn't want to make things difficult for you. You must know how to be grateful. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled playfully. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. How could this be called benevolent? Was this considered not making things too difficult for him? He even had to be grateful? Even if the servant's time limit of a year was nothing. But what did it mean that he was not allowed to have any improper actions or thoughts? If he violated it, he would have to die? Wasn't that ruthless? How ruthless did he want to be? Damn it. Good. I promise you. After much consideration, Piao Yu could only nod her head in agreement. If she didn't agree, Xuanmiao Empress would have a handle on her. With her reputation in the Yellow region, it would be too easy for her to ruin her reputation. Similarly, if Xuanmiao Empress were to fall into her hands, she could also ruin her reputation. If she was one step behind, it would be hard to turn back. Then, under Piao Yu's oath to the Starry Sky God, she signed another contract to sell her body. Only then did Wang Kai proudly take out the Starry King Stone token. Take it. As for the share that Ben Shao lost, do you want to know how to solve the Starry Sky turbulence, or do you want the Starry King Stone? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. Xuanmiao Empress didn't hesitate and said indifferently, about solving the Starry Sky turbulence. Oh, that's easy. Ben Shao cracked it with a flick of his finger. Wang Kai grinned and laughed softly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. You? How dare you? Whoosh. Xuanmiao Empress was instantly enraged. She never thought that Wang Kai's answer would be this. Who's being impudent? He cracked it with a flick of his finger. Oh, you want to know the reason, right? It's very simple. Ben Shao used his supreme cultivation and the power to shock the heavens and earth to crack it. Wang Kai spread his hands and said casually, congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Ha, ha, ha. Looking at the ashen-faced and extremely ugly Xuanmiao Empress, Piao Yu, who was by the side, immediately covered her face and laughed coquettishly. The sullenness from before instantly disappeared without a trace and was replaced with joy. Silly girl, you didn't hesitate to waste 1 million Star King Stones to ask such a simple question. Even Ben Shao feels sorry for you. Why don't you sign a contract to sell your body? Ben Shao is the smartest teacher since the beginning of chaos. He can teach you how to become smart. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled proudly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 7th grade Star King realm. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 7th grade. You have received 10 star source points. Wang Kai, you will suffer retribution. Xuanmiao Empress's face was indifferent. Her beautiful eyes contained traces of coldness. If possible, she really wanted to beat Wang Kai up. What a joke. What is retribution? The answer is Ben Shao's will. Who will suffer retribution and whether or not he will suffer retribution are all decided by Ben Shao. If you continue to act pretentious in front of Ben Shao will let you suffer retribution again. Wang Kai shrugged and waved his hand indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Who will suffer retribution is still unknown. Damn fatty, hand over the 1 million Star King Stones you lost. Otherwise, pay with your life. Whoosh. Xuanmiao Empress's eyes turned and fixed on Fatso Lu, who had been watching the show from the side. What does this have to do with me? Fatso Lu's face suddenly stiffened. He pointed at his nose and suddenly felt speechless. It was clearly a matter between Wang Kai and his 2 confidants. Now, it was actually related to him. Nothing to do with you? Don't forget, this is a wager between the 4 of us. You're also one of them. Now, Wang Kai has helped Piao Yu return the 1 million Star King Stones, but you haven't given your share yet," Shuan Miao Empress said coldly. This Fatso Lu was instantly dumbfounded. Not to mention 1,000,000 Star King stones. He couldn't even take out a single Star King stone. Helpless, Fatso Lu could only look at Wang Kai. Good, Shuan Miao Empress." Wang Kai frowned and his face darkened. He hadn't expected Shuan Miao Empress to make such a move. Now, it seemed that it was impossible to keep the 1,000,000 Star King stones. However, thinking about it, he had obtained Goddess Piao Yu's slave contract. It wasn't a loss. Isn't it just 1,000,000 Star King stones? Ben Xiao is the richest person in the world. He doesn't even care about a few 100,000,000 Star King stones. If you want it, just take it. Wang Kai shrugged and took out the Star King stone token. He threw it at Shuan Miao Empress as if he was throwing trash. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1,000,000 experience and 1,000 bragging points. Chapter 819. At least you know what's good for you. Shuan Miao Empress snorted coldly and received it with a flip of her hand. Her beautiful eyes couldn't help but flash with a hint of joy. Damn Shuan Miao Empress. Damned Wang Kai. Damned fatty. Seeing this scene, Piao Yu secretly clenched her silver teeth and was extremely furious. The final winners were undoubtedly Wang Kai and Shuan Miao Empress. One had obtained a slave contract, and the other had earned 1,000,000 Star King stones. Piao Yu naturally felt extremely annoyed at this, but there was nothing she could do. Now that the loss was already set, what else could she do? Damn it, didn't I suffer a loss? I helped that bastard Wang Kai twice, but in the end, I didn't even get a single strand of hair. Now, I can't transmit my voice to him to ask for benefits, so I can only endure it for now. If he doesn't satisfy me, I'll leak the news of him cheating. Fatso Lu winked as he thought to himself. Seeing the most precious Star King stones in the yellow region's starry sky, and an enormous amount of 1,000,000 at that, floating away so lightly, Fatso Lu was drooling, let alone Piao Yu. Why don't we play a few more rounds? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and suggested with a faint smile. If he couldn't get the 2,000,000 Star King stones back, Wang Kai wouldn't feel at ease. However, as Wang Kai expected, both Piao Yu and Shuan Miao Empress had no intention of doing so. Even Fatso Lu's face was now twitching as he refused. Just now, Wang Kai had Star King stones to pay for him, but now he didn't have any. If he lost again, wouldn't he lose his life? Thinking of this, Fatso Lu would never cheat with Wang Kai again. It was simply too dangerous. If we don't want to play mahjong, then let's play something else. How about we play Fight the Landlord? There are only 3 people participating in the battle. One is a landlord, and the other 2 are commoners. The detailed rules are, as Wang Kai explained the rules of the game, Mysterious Empress and Piao Yu's interest was piqued. Even Fatso Lu's eyes lit up, and he wanted to play a game. Is there another bet? Mysterious Empress frowned and asked. In response, Piao Yu turned her eyes and looked at Wang Kai in confusion. If there was a bet, even if he wanted to play, he would have to think about it carefully. What if he was tricked by Wang Kai and lost? Of course there is a bet. Otherwise, why would I waste my time with you? Also, Fight the Landlord is a 2 versus 1 game. Since that's the case, what are you afraid of? Now, there's no need to cheat. It's obvious that the 2 of them are working together. Wang Kai shrugged and said with a rather disdainful expression. Hearing this, the 2 women frowned and secretly pondered. Although it was clearly a 2 versus 1 game, if they thought about it carefully, if the person who became the landlord didn't have good cards, would they be so stupid as to steal the landlord? Moreover, even if it was a 2 versus 1 game, they didn't know what cards the other party had or lacked. If they didn't cooperate well, they would definitely lose miserably. Let's play a few games first, then we'll talk about the bet. Mysterious Empress said, faintly after some consideration. Piao Yu also nodded slightly. She didn't have any objections to this. She had only heard Wang Kai talk about the rules of Fight the Landlord, but hadn't put it into practice yet. If she suddenly started a bet, the chances of losing were simply too high. No problem. Wang Kai shrugged and nodded with a rather casual expression. Then he activated his stellar source power and condensed a playing card. After the cards were divided, there were only 3 cards left in the center of the table. Mysterious Empress first. You made the call first. Do you want to steal it or not? Wang Kai raised his eyebrows and asked with a faint smile. Steal what? Mysterious Empress frowned and looked at Wang Kai warily. F***CK. Steal the landlord. Do you want to steal the commoners too? Wang Kai's face darkened when he heard this. Black lines appeared on his forehead. He had just taught them the rules of the game, and now they had forgotten it. Oh, you want to steal the landlord? Then Piao Yu, do you want to double it? Mysterious Empress's beautiful eyes narrowed, and she smiled faintly. What's the situation? When did Ben Shao F***King say that he wants to steal the landlord? Wang Kai frowned and shouted with a rather annoyed expression. Didn't you just say that you want to steal the landlord? As for me, I didn't say that I want to steal it, so I won't steal it. Do I have to tell you everything in person? Don't you have the brains to comprehend it yourself? Mysterious Empress snorted disdainfully. Go F***CK yourself. The corner of Wang Kai's mouth twitched violently. He cursed in his heart. He didn't expect Mysterious Empress to be so powerful. She had trapped him from the start. Such a lame method really made Wang Kai feel helpless. But on second thought, it was only right for her to be proud, so he didn't say anything more. F***CK. I don't even have a single king in my hand. I don't even have a F***king 2 or an ace. The biggest card is a king, and there's only one of it. I've been forced to steal the landlord. How am I supposed to live? Wang Kai looked at the cards in his hand. He even had the thought of killing himself. No doubling. I want either. As Piao Yu and Mysterious Empress gave up on doubling, Wang Kai followed the rules and successfully won the landlord position. He casually swept the cards in his hand and directly threw out the biggest king. 2. Pada. Piao Yu didn't hesitate to take out a diamond 2. Mysterious Empress didn't care about it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight. No, I don't want it either. A pair of 2s. No. F***CKU. It's clearly 3 2s. Why do you have to split it? And F***CK me. Wang Kai's face darkened as he vented his anger. This goddess is happy. What can you do about it? 2 kings. I'm sure no one can afford it, right? For more jacks. Bill. Piao Yu curled her lips, blinked her beautiful eyes, and smiled proudly. What? 2 kings? 3 2s? For jacks, plus a straight, and a single. F***CK these cards. You don't want to be the landlord, but you want to be a commoner? Are you out of your mind? Wang Kai frowned. He wanted to give Piao Yu a few tight slaps. He looked at his own cards. There was no way he could compete, but he was forced to be the landlord. Piao Yu, on the other hand, had such an awesome card, but she had to be a commoner. No. Mysterious Empress's expression was indifferent. She pursed her red lips and said softly, I can't afford it. Wang Kai's face darkened. He threw his cards on the table in annoyance. A 2, that's it. Pada. As Piao Yu slammed the last card on the table, Wang Kai was dumbfounded. F***CK. You split 4 2s into a pair and 2 singles to play with? Wang Kai stared at her in shock. Seeing this, Fatso Lu, who was standing to the side, was also stunned. This goddess is willing to play with you, okay? Who asked you to be so stupid and so immersed in the act? Piao Yu covered her face and laughed. F***CK. Wang Kai's face twisted when he heard this. He clenched his fists so hard that they cracked. This was simply a slap in the face. It was too infuriating. Chapter 820. In these 7 days, Wang Kai and the others played all the games they could, such as Gamoku, Chinese chess, checkers, poker, mahjong, and even billiards. They didn't miss a single one. However, Wang Kai didn't get what he wanted. Due to Lady Xuanmiao's vigilance, they couldn't even win a single star king stone in these 7 days. In the end, they even gave up and let Fatso Lu deal with them, even though they lost miserably. Young Master Kai, you said that the green and red ghosts, Yang Wei, and Genie are all in this star field? How do we find them? 100 Change Star Field, Marshall Saint City. Currently, Wang Kai and his crew had arrived at the Hundred Changes starfield. They landed in the most prosperous city in the starfield, the Martial Sacred City. They're in this city, but there's no rush. They're not as miserable as you think. Instead, they're living quite comfortably. Wang Kai waved his hand and smiled playfully. When they arrived in the city, Wang Kai had already used his divine sense to investigate and found traces of the green and red ghosts. However, the green and red ghosts weren't in any danger now. In fact, they were very safe. Young Master Kai, why are they all looking at us? Fatso Lu followed behind and looked at the surrounding inns, taverns, and other places. There were many cultivators looking at him with inquisitive eyes. Similarly, Lady Xuan Miao and Piao Yu, who were following beside Wang Kai, also felt the strange gazes coming from the surroundings, making them feel very uncomfortable. 100 Change Starfield is already considered one of the top 100 star fields in the Yellow region. Piao Yu, don't do anything unless you have no other choice. Otherwise, we'll be exposed. Lady Xuan Miao's face was covered with a veil as she reminded in a low voice. Hearing this, Piao Yu didn't refute. Her face was also covered with a veil, but even so, the two women's peerless figures couldn't be hidden. If we're exposed, then so be it. What's the point of becoming a cultivator and then an expert? Longevity? Power? Wealth? No. In Ben Xiao's opinion, it was all for the sake of acting tough. And Ben Xiao is the best proof. People call him the god of acting tough. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Who are they? Could he be one of the top 10 foreign geniuses? I think so. Today, the 10 great geniuses from the outside world are going to challenge the 5 great geniuses from the 100 Change Starfield. What a pity for the two beauties. If only I could see their faces. Sigh, what's wrong with that? When our young Master Lang makes his move, not only will he be able to see their faces, he will even be able to see their figures clearly. Ha, that's true. After the surrounding cultivators stared at Wang Kai and the others for a long time, they also withdrew their gazes, but the words they spoke caused Wang Kai and the others to be startled. The 10 great geniuses from the outside world are going to challenge the 5 great geniuses from the city? What, young Master Lang? You want to strip Lady Xuan Miao and Piao Yu naked? Such a signal instantly caused Fatso Lu's mouth to twitch. He looked around in disdain and really wanted to scold them for speaking nonsense. Lady Xuan Miao and Piao Yu, what kind of cultivation did they have? Were they people that could be bullied just because they wanted to? Young Master Lang, this name is pretty awesome. It's best not to let Ben Xiao see him. Otherwise, he will definitely give him a slap and let him know that in this world, the most unrestrained person is Ben Xiao. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled indifferently. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. If that's the case, you also want to strip us naked? Actually, there's no need. If you are willing to go to the mystic moon planet with me, I can take the initiative to show you. Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes and smiled coquettishly. Wang Kai directly chose to ignore this. If they really went to the mystic moon planet, who knew what would happen? Who would believe her words? Now it seems that Lady Xuan Miao is better. TSK. The scenes from back then are still vivid in my mind. In this outer region, I'm afraid only Ben Xiao has such good fortune. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled playfully. Whoosh! Lady Xuan Miao's body stiffened slightly when she heard this, but she quickly returned to normal. Her beautiful eyes were filled with anger as she glared at Wang Kai, but she did not dare to say another word. She was afraid that Wang Kai wouldn't be able to keep the door shut and would reveal what had happened before. After all, in order to make Wang Kai compromise, she had personally stripped herself naked for Wang Kai to see. What scenes? Did you really have that kind of relationship? Piao Yu covered her red lips and asked in surprise. Fatso Lu did not care about this at all. He glanced at Piao Yu with disdain and secretly laughed. Wang Kai has never met a beauty who could run away. You won't be far off. Shut up. Is the lady goddess of the mystic moon planet crazy? Lady Xuan Miao snorted indifferently. At the same time, she glanced at Wang Kai. The threat was self-evident. Who are you glaring at? Didn't I just take a few more glances at you when we first met? Although the place was beautiful, you can't blame Ben Xiao. You were willing to do it. Wang Kai curled his lips and said with disdain. You. Lady Xuan Miao's beautiful eyes narrowed when she heard this. Her eyes were filled with killing intent. What? The place was beautiful? Where was it? Where was it? Could it be? Ah, Lady Xuan Miao, I didn't expect you to be so unrestrained. Piao Yu covered her red lips, and her beautiful eyes widened. She pretended to be surprised and teased. Piao Yu, if you want to fight with me, then come at me now. Lady Xuan Miao said coldly. Forget it. It's fine as long as I know. Who wants to waste energy fighting with you? Piao Yu swayed her body and laughed playfully. Guests, I'm very sorry. Our restaurant is full. Please go somewhere else. As Wang Kai stopped, Lady Xuan Miao, Piao Yu, and Fatso Lu also stopped in front of a restaurant. However, before they could step in, a waiter came up to stop them. Hearing this, Wang Kai raised his eyebrows slightly and said indifferently, Ask the people inside to empty a table for Ben Xiao. Yes, money is not a problem for Ben Xiao, the richest man in the outer domain. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. I'm still very sorry. Our restaurant has never expelled a guest before. Forgive me for not being able to do so. The waiter spread out his hands and said indifferently. Chapter 821. Little brother, this young master gave you face, gave you a way out, and also gave you a chance to turn over a new leaf. You should cherish it. Do you really want this young master to teach you a lesson before you're willing to admit defeat? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and stared at the shop assistant with a playful expression. When a waiter said that the restaurant was full, Wang Kai used his spiritual sense and scanned the surroundings. He was surprised to find that there were still many empty seats in the restaurant. However, this waiter said that it was full. Who are you calling little brother? Do I know you? I said that the restaurant is full, so it is. Please leave quickly and go to another restaurant. The waiter waved his hand disdainfully and snorted. F***CKU. How can you talk to Uncle Lu's brother, young Master Kai? Slap. Bang. Suddenly, before Wang Kai could make a move, Fatty Lu behind him had already angrily attacked. With a slap, the waiter fell to the ground. The waiter's horrifying scream immediately resounded in the surroundings, attracting many cultivators to look over with cold eyes. Outsider, this is Marshall Saint's city, not your home. You should be more careful. Otherwise, even death is a light punishment. With such character, you call yourself one of the top 10 geniuses and want to challenge the top 5 geniuses of Marshall Saint City? Hearing the scolding of the surrounding cultivators, Wang Kai's pupils shrank slightly. With his hand behind his back, he said indifferently, Ben Xiao calls the shots in this yellow region starry sky. What is a mere Marshall Saint City in the 100 changes starry sky? Even death is a light punishment? If you think you're so awesome, get down here and talk to me. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Presumptuous, ignorant brat. Let the old man teach you a lesson. Buzz. Suddenly, following a furious roar, a black-robed old man flipped down from the second floor of the restaurant and slammed his palm down from the sky. You're just a star general. Who are you trying to act tough with? Teach Ben Xiao a lesson? Have some shame. Seeing this, Wang Kai was extremely disdainful. He casually raised his hand and clenched it. With a clatter, he directly dissolved the old man's attack and grabbed the old man's arm tightly. Your realm. The old man was so scared that his face turned pale. He never thought that his full-strength attack would be so easily neutralized by Wang Kai. Ben Xiao's cultivation level is higher than all of you, so be careful when you speak. And you, Ben Xiao will now teach you how to behave. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled coldly. Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Kai swung his arm grabbed the old man, and spun 360 degrees in the air without any blind spots. In the end, it was smashed onto the ground, swung up, and smashed onto the ground again. Seeing the scene of fresh blood splattering and the ground collapsing, all of the practitioners swallowed a mouthful of saliva. All of them were inhaling a breath of cold air. They never thought that this foreign young man would be so ruthless and strong. When this scene fell into the eyes of the waiter of the restaurant, he even forgot about the pain. Compared to the old man's injuries, his injuries were nothing. Remember, in the future, don't *king act tough with everyone you meet. Before you act tough, you have to think carefully about whether you have the ability to clean up the mess if you fail. Wang Kai sneered with disdain. With a flip of his hand, he threw the half-dead old man far away. Plop! Seeing this scene, Fatso Lu was not to be outdone. He directly sent out another kick, directly sending the old man flying several thousand steps away. *CK. Why don't you take a look at what kind of card we have? Do you think any random cat or dog can act tough with us? Fatty Lu put his hands on his waist and swept his gaze over the practitioners in the surroundings, laughing loudly. Wherever his gaze passed, those practitioners would feel angry in their hearts. However, they did not dare to show the slightest emotion on their faces. Seeing this scene, Fatty Lu immediately became even more arrogant. With his head held high and his hands behind his back, he came in front of the waiter of the restaurant and said in a condescending manner, "Is there a place now?" "Yes, yes, yes, yes." The waiter did not dare to stop him. He could only brace himself and nod his head and bow. *CK. You don't know how to lead the way when there is a place? Are you waiting to die? Bang! Immediately after, Fatty Lu kicked the waiter into the restaurant, after which he extended his hand and gestured, "Young Master Kai, my good brother, please. Uncle Lu has taken care of this card." When Wang Kai heard this, the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. He nodded helplessly and walked in with his hands behind his back. "Ha ha! This act of acting tough is very good. It's perfect." When Wang Kai and the others entered the restaurant, the expressions of the practitioners outside turned ashen and extremely unsightly. Originally, they wanted to show off their strength to Wang Kai and the others. However, who would have thought that they were not as strong as them, and ended up being deeply humiliated instead? I'm afraid we won't be able to slap their faces. When they enter the center of Marshall Saint City, someone will deal with them. Looking at their cultivations, they should not be the 10 great geniuses from outside. They should be the older generation experts of the other star fields. That's right, even star generals are not a match for them. After all, the 5 great geniuses of our Marshall Saint City are only at the peak of 9th grade Star Guard. What the hell? After all this fuss, we actually mistook them for someone else. No matter how strong those geniuses from outside are, I heard that they have not surpassed the Star Guard realm. Wang Kai, who had just sat down, used his divine sense to listen to the discussions of the practitioners outside. Then, he came to a sudden realization. This is not the center of Marshall Saint City. Of the experts here, the strongest are merely star generals. Wang Kai shrugged and said with an indifferent expression, "Naturally, in the 100 Changes star field's Marshall Saint City, at the very center, the weakest are star generals. And in the outskirts, the strongest are also star generals." Piao covered her face, faintly smiling. Hearing this, Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and looked at her in surprise. He smiled and said, "You seem to be very familiar with Marshall Saint City." I came here once before." Piao laughed casually. You must have secretly come here many times, right? After all, the Lord of the 100 Changes star field is also the Lord of Marshall Saint City. That person called the 100 Changes Star King, Chiu Li, is someone you admire. The Xuan Miao Empress snorted disdainfully. The Lord of the 100 Changes star field, 100 Changes Star King, Chiu Li? Someone Piao admires? What the hell? Hearing these words, Wang Kai immediately frowned and said with a surprised expression, "Isn't he just a mere Star King? Is he stronger than Ben Shao? You, a grand high-grade Star King, actually admire him?" "Shut up. What do you know? Chioli is only 100 years old and has already reached 6th grade Star King. I heard that in a few more years, he will reach 7th grade Star King, the same realm as me. Such talent is number one in the yellow domain starry sky. Piao covered her face and laughed. Chapter 822. Number 1. You actually say he's the number one in the yellow region? What the F asterisk CK? What do you think of this young master, the number one person in the universe, as an awesome person? Wang Kai frowned and snorted with a dissatisfied expression. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You've received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Whoosh. Hearing this, Piao Yu and Xuan Miao Empress frowned. Indeed, Wang Kai was only in his 20s, but he had already reached the Star King realm. Although he wasn't as high as Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu, he was still more than 100 years younger than Xiao Li. His talent and aptitude could be said to completely crush Xiao Li. Little did they know that Wang Kai had already reached the 7th stage of the Star King realm. It was just that Piao Yu and Xuan Miao Empress didn't know. Your talent and aptitude are indeed better than Xiao Li's. However, don't forget that in the outer region, the level of the star power determines the level of an expert. Piao Yu covered her face and laughed. She was very pleased with herself for turning the tables on Xiao Li. Xuan Miao Empress wanted to attack Piao Yu, but she had to admit that what Piao Yu said was true. The level of the star power could completely make up for the difference in talent and aptitude. Furthermore, it was also one of the most difficult aptitudes to reach. Only a little better than him. You actually said that Ben Xiao, who is only in his 20s and has already reached the 7th stage of the Star King realm, is only a little better than him? Buzz. Suddenly, Wang Kai waved his hand. The pressure of a 7th stage Star King, a high-grade Star King, swept out. It immediately shook the entire restaurant. All the cultivators turned pale and fell to the ground with fear in their eyes. They used all their cultivation but couldn't move at all. Caught off guard, even Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu felt an extremely strong pressure. If they hadn't used their star power in time and surpassed the 7th stage of the Star King realm, that pressure might have suppressed them on the spot. Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu stood up in shock. Their beautiful eyes were filled with horror as they stared at Wang Kai. He had never thought that Wang Kai would be a 7th grade Star King. Furthermore, he was only in his 20s. He had already reached such heights. The 100-change Star King Xiao Li was the number one person of a younger generation in the yellow domain starry sky. Then, Wang Kai surpassed the first person by countless times. There was simply no comparison between the two. Do you know the difference now? Xiao Li was a 6th grade Star King. Unfortunately, Ben Xiao was a 7th grade Star King. Moreover, Ben Xiao is only 20 years old. Can anyone make up for such a gap? Wang Kai shrugged and sneered with disdain. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Whoosh! Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu were shocked when they heard this. However, they were speechless when they heard that Xiao Li was only 20 years old. He was clearly in his 20s and almost in his 30s. How could he still say that he was so young? Even though you were a 7th grade Star King, so what? Your star power level is definitely not as high as Xiao Li's. I'm not afraid to tell you that his star power level is not weaker than ours. Piao Yu bit her red lips and said unyieldingly. Everyone had someone they admired. Once they were inferior to someone else, they would feel uncomfortable. Even Piao Yu, as a goddess, was no exception. However, when she met a fearless person like Wang Kai, she could only suppress her displeasure. After all, whether it was the star power level or the cultivation realm, it was too easy for Wang Kai. What does the star power level count for? Even if Xiao Li's star power is at the 7th or 8th grade like yours, so what? Forget it. Even if Ben Xiao's star power is at the 9th or 10th grade, he is still a younger brother to Ben Xiao, a piece of trash that can't even be shown in public. Wang Kai curled his lips and sneered with a disdainful expression. As an indomitable man, how could he allow a beautiful woman to say how awesome another man was in front of him? How could he tolerate that? If he didn't completely destroy Qiu Li, would he still be worthy of being called the god of bragging? Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 1 million experience and 1,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 8th grade Star King realm. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the next grade. You have received 10 star source points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the next grade. You have received the title Unparalleled Bragging, Shaking Heaven and Earth. Host, with this title, you can increase the reward for bragging by 10 times. You can also exchange star source points for experience points by 10 times. Host, Wang Kai Occupation, Star Warrior Realm, 8th grade Star King title, Unparalleled Bragging, Shaking Heaven and Earth Star Technique, Karma Great Tao Technique Star Technique, Nun Identification, Torch Dragon Eye Equipment, Ever-Changing Fan Star Power, Level 5 Star Source Points, 160 Physique, Invulnerable Guardian Beasts, Sun Wukong, Zhu Beiji, Xiao Wujing, Neza, Silverhorn King Bragging Points, 19,000 Experience, 090000000. Upon hearing the prompt, Wang Kai immediately frowned and waved his hand to stop Piao Yu from refuting. He then focused on the prompt. Unparalleled Bragging, Shaking Heaven and Earth? With this title, I can increase the reward for bragging by 10 times, even star source points. Bragging now gave him 1 million experience points. If it was increased by 10 times, it would be a full 10 million. Breaking through to the next grade only required 9 million. Wouldn't that mean that he would be able to advance by 1 grade? Besides, the bragging points would also increase from 1,000 to 10,000. In that case, would there still be a shortage of bragging points? More importantly, the tenfold increase in star source points. In the past, 1 point could be exchanged for 10,000 experience points. Now, 1 point could be exchanged for 100,000 experience points. 10 star source points would be a full million. 100 star source points would be 10 million, which would allow him to break through to the next grade. Young Master Kai, what's wrong with you? Have you gone silly from bragging? Don't scare your Uncle Lu. Seeing that Wang Kai's face had turned red and he was panting heavily without saying a word, Fatso Lu was suddenly a little dumbfounded. Even Xuan Miao and Piao Yu were a little worried. At the same time, they also found it very strange. Wang Kai was clearly the one who trampled on Qiu Li and made him seem worthless. Why is he acting like there's something wrong? Wait, don't disturb me. Ben Xiao is really too impressive, domineering, and mighty. I'm feeling a little dizzy now. Let Ben Xiao calm down and analyze how he should be bragging in the future. Wang Kai waved his hand, while his other hand was holding his forehead. He sat on the chair with his legs crossed, frowning as he pondered. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience points and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 9th grade Star King realm. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the next grade. You have received 100 star source points. Chapter 823. Hearing this, Xuanmiao Empress, Piao Yu, and Fatso Lu were speechless. They wondered what had happened to Wang Kai. After all this time, he was still acting tough. He was even planning how he would act tough in the future. Who do you think will win if a Star King with level 7 or level 8 star power fights with a Star Venerable? Wang Kai asked with a faint smile, squinting his eyes and looking at his crossed legs. The three of them were slightly puzzled by this. They didn't know why Wang Kai would ask such a question. Could he be a Star Venerable? That was impossible. Naturally, the Star Venerables will win. Unless it's an expert at the peak of the Star King realm who has level 10 star energy, only then will he be able to fight against a Star Venerable realm expert. Piao Yu blinked her beautiful eyes and said. Xuanmiao Empress nodded slightly and said indifferently, she's right. Although there are no Star Venerables in the Yellow region, there are many who have reached the Star Venerable realm and broken into the Dark region. That kind of terrifying power is not something a Star King can match. As far as I know, Within the 4 galaxies, the only person who could defeat a star venerable at the Star King realm was Shen Luo. At that time, he was at the peak of the 9th grade Star King realm. With his 10th grade star power, he killed many star venerables. Piao Yu laughed. Bang! Hearing this, Wang Kai suddenly slammed the table and said with a proud smile, "Then, Bin Xiao will take back what he said before. Even if Qiu Li has level 10 star power, he is not Bin Xiao's younger brother." Humph. Now, but do you know the difference? Although she didn't know what Wang Kai was thinking, the proud Piao Yu didn't think much and mocked him on the spot. Sometimes, admitting defeat is a virtue, Xuan Miao Empress said with a faint smile. A wait and see. Young Master Kai admitting defeat is not a virtue, it's an illusion. However, Fatso Lu muttered to himself. He didn't agree with Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu's thoughts. You know the difference? Yes, he indeed knew the difference between them. He was no longer a younger brother. In Bin Xiao's eyes, he would be a grandson. Moreover, he's a great 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 grandson. In short, if this young master wants to beat him, a single finger is enough. Wang Kai curled his lips and said with a rather proud smile, "Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a rank 1 star venerable. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through. You have received 100 star source points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through. The power of the stars has been upgraded to level 6. Host, Wang Kai profession, Star Warrior Realm. First grade star venerable title, peerless bragging, shaking the universe star magic, karma great Tao magic star technique, none identification, torch dragon eye equipment, ever-changing fan star power, level 5 star source points, 360 physique, invulnerable protector beasts, Sun Wukong, Zhu Beiji, Xiao Wujing, Neza, silver horn, king bragging points, 39,000 experience. 010000000. After hearing the prompt, Wang Kai glanced at it casually and activated his mind too. Close it. He smiled faintly and said, I may have been bragging just now, but at this moment I'm not bragging anymore. I'm telling the truth. Wang Kai didn't care about the fact that he would only be able to break through to the next level after reaching 10 million experience points. Similarly, he didn't care about the level of his star power at all. In the Yellow region, there were no star venerables or peak star kings who had level 10 star power. Since that was the case, what was there to be afraid of? I don't care who comes, I'll beat them up. If a group comes, I'll destroy them. Arrogant. Piao Yu immediately expressed her disdain. Even if she wanted to please Wang Kai now, she was extremely displeased with him for insulting Qiu Li. Similarly, Xuan Miao Empress also frowned. She was slightly disappointed with Wang Kai's arrogance. Look, Uncle Lu has already thought of this. It would be strange if he gave in. Fatso Lu shook his head and sighed secretly. Haha, you're really arrogant. I didn't expect that I would be so weak in your eyes. But it's fine. Since you're a friend of Xuan Miao Empress and Goddess Piao Yu, I won't argue with you. Buzz. Suddenly, following a chuckle, the void suddenly tore open. A handsome young man in a white robe with an extraordinary temperament walked out with his hands behind his back. His appearance was so handsome that it was devilish. Even if a woman saw him, she would feel ashamed of herself. Oh my God, it's the 100 Transformation Star King. Who are they? How could they make the 100 Transformation Star King personally come to meet them? Shut up. Didn't you hear what the 100 Transformation Star King said? These 2 women are one of the 3 great beauties of a Yellow region starry sky. They are also female experts who don't lose to the Star King. They are the famous Xuan Miao Empress and Goddess Piao Yu. In an instant, the surrounding cultivators all revealed respectful and fanatical expressions. All of them knelt on the ground and lowered their heads while trembling. At the same time, many cultivators who were secretly watching from outside also knelt on the ground and cupped their fists towards the 100 Transformation Star King. As the master of the 100 Transformation Starry Sky, all the cultivators in the Starry Sky were the 100 Transformation Star King's people. It was natural for them to bow to her. What the F***ck are you? Who the F***ck are you talking to? Don't you know that when you see Ben Xiao, you have to kneel on the ground and shout, "Long live Master Kai," like them? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and snorted with a cold expression. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have obtained 10 million experience. Bragging points, 10,000 points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the second rank Star Venerable Realm. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the next rank. You have obtained 10 star source points. Whoosh! The moment those words were spoken, everyone was shocked. Aside from mysterious Empress, who was calm and composed, everyone else, including Piao Yu, had their faces stiffen. Of course, Fatso Lu did not mind. As long as Wang Kai dared to be so arrogant, it proved that he had the ability. Even if he did not have the ability, he could not avoid it. After all, Wang Kai liked to act pretentious. To Fatso Lu, who was used to such scenes, this was a piece of cake. Shut up. The one they're kneeling to is not you, but junior brother Chioli. As a junior, you should be more respectful to your elders. Why aren't you apologizing? Piao Yu frowned as she glared at Wang Kai with anger in her beautiful eyes. Whoosh! Hearing that, the mysterious Empress's eyes flashed and her red lips pursed into a smile. She felt extremely carefree. Piao Yu's actions had undoubtedly provoked Wang Kai. Similarly, Fatso Lu also looked at Piao Yu with pity. The more she provoked Wang Kai at this time, the worse the consequences would be. One was putting on a show, and the other was tearing him down from the side. One could imagine how awkward it was. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and stood up. With his hands behind his back, he smiled faintly and said, "You seem to really admire him, don't you? Ahem, ahem. I would like to tip 10,000 book coins and add 3 chapters. Thank you all for your support and love. Also, I would like to report to everyone that my 3rd book, which is about the system, is about to be published. Don't doubt that I have the ability to publish 3 books at the same time." Chapter 824. Don't talk nonsense. I didn't mean it that way. Anyway, apologize to junior brother Chio quickly. Piao Yu blushed slightly and said while blinking her beautiful eyes. Looking at Piao Yu's bashful appearance, Wang Kai frowned and his face darkened. He didn't expect Piao Yu to want him to apologize to Chioli. Although he didn't have any relationship with Piao Yu, her unreasonable order to apologize to Chioli had ignited the anger in his heart. Haha, it's fine. He's just a junior. It's normal for him to be hot-blooded. Goddess Piao Yu, it's been 10 years since we last met, right? Chioli said with a gentle smile. Yes, it's been 10 years. I didn't expect junior brother Chio to remember it so clearly. Piao Yu whispered shyly. F***CKU. Buzz. Suddenly, before Chioli could reply, Wang Kai's figure moved. He arrived in front of Chioli, flipped his hand, and grabbed Chioli's head, then fiercely pressed it down. Bang! Crack! The ground was directly shattered by the collision. The powerful force embedded his entire body into the ground. This, God! In an instant, everyone was shocked. All the cultivators were pale with fright, and their bodies trembled uncontrollably. For a moment, their brains couldn't think, and they seemed to have lost their minds. When he looked at Piao Yu again, he was stunned on the spot. He had never imagined that Chioli, whom he admired, would actually be suppressed by Wang Kai so easily. Even Lady Xuanmiao was shocked. She thought that she could use this opportunity to help Wang Kai and gain his approval. Who knew that such a shocking scene would happen? Weren't you very good at acting tough just now? F***CKU. You look like a dog, and you think you can do whatever you want just because you have a little bit of cultivation? Are you on the same level as Ben Xiao? You even pretended to be old-fashioned and magnanimous in front of Ben Xiao? Bang, 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 bang. Then, under Wang Kai's continuous berating, Chiu Li's skin and flesh exploded, and his bones and tendons were all shattered. In the blink of an eye, his handsome face had turned into a bloody mess. It was too horrible to look at. Give me a pill that can instantly heal his injuries. Wang Kai flipped his hand and threw Qiu Li to the ground. Then he spoke to the system. Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining the pill. 3 flowers at one's prominence. 10,000 bragging points have been consumed. Wang. A milky white medicinal pill appeared in Wang Kai's palm. Under everyone's nervous gazes, he tossed it into Qiu Li's mouth. Qiu Li, who had been injured from head to toe and whose aura was so weak that he couldn't even speak, instantly recovered to his peak condition. Bang! All of a sudden, Qiu Li stood up and retreated dozens of steps. He even stepped into the air and arrived outside the restaurant. He looked at Wang Kai cautiously and fearfully. He said, "Brother, it was all a misunderstanding. Please don't. No. F*CK, you're misunderstanding. F*CKU. Wang." In an instant, before Qiu Li could finish speaking, Wang Kai, who had suddenly appeared in front of him, grabbed his neck and pinched it viciously. "What do you mean by misunderstanding? This young master hasn't read many books, and his level of education is not high enough. Why don't you explain?" Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled coldly. Wang Kai, Piao saw this and quickly stepped forward to stop him. However, before she could finish her sentence, she was frightened by Wang Kai's gaze. Her delicate body stiffened and she pursed her lips tightly. She was unable to say a word and her heart was filled with fear. Right now, you're not qualified to talk to Ben Xiao. If Ben Xiao is not satisfied, he could destroy your Mystic Moon sect at any time. Don't doubt Ben Xiao's power. Of course, you can gamble with the lives of everyone in the Mystic Moon sect. Wang Kai sneered disdainfully. Whoosh! Hearing this, Piao Yu's body shook violently. She moved her red lips and was about to speak, but before she could say anything, Xuanmiao Empress pressed her shoulder. Don't be impulsive. Right now, he is invincible in the starry sky of the Yellow region. You need to calm down and carefully sense his cultivation, Xuanmiao Empress said faintly. His cultivation? This is impossible. Piao Yu's expression changed drastically. After carefully probing, she found that Wang Kai's cultivation was as unfathomable as the sea. It was not like before, where she could not see through it. She could see through it, but what she saw through it was bottomless. This also proved that Wang Kai's current cultivation had surpassed the Star King realm. Nothing is impossible. He asked before about the difference between a Star Venerable and a Star King with grade 8 star power. Now, his cultivation proves the reason why he asked before, Xuanmiao Empress said faintly. Whoosh! Hearing this, Piao Yu's beautiful eyes widened. In an instant, she came to a realization. She finally understood why Wang Kai had asked that question. It turned out that he was calculating whether he could defeat the 100-change Star King Qiu Li after reaching the Star Venerable realm. Now, not only was Qiu Li helpless, but he was also invincible in the entire starry sky of the Yellow region. Kneel! Wang Kai looked indifferent as he looked at Qiu Li and said in a cold tone, This! Qiu Li frowned. Qiu Li frowned deeply when he heard this. He glanced at the countless cultivators around him, as well as Piao Yu and Xuanmiao Empress. His face turned even uglier. If he really knelt, where would his dignity go? As the Star Lord of the 100-change Star region, how could he kneel before a young man in his 20s? And in front of Piao Yu and Xuanmiao Empress? Ben Xiao, I told you to kneel. Wang Kai frowned and immediately slapped him. Slap, plop, rumble. In an instant, Wang Kai's palm pressed down on Qiu Li's body, causing him to fall from the sky. Qiu Li's knees smashed into the ground as he knelt on the ground. His legs were completely disabled, and he could not move at all. You? What? Qiu Li had just opened his mouth, but he could not even speak clearly. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale. He could not resist at all. Do you want to die or live? Wang Kai asked indifferently. Whoosh! Hearing this, Qiu Li's frown deepened. Enduring the pain, he gritted his teeth and said, I want to live. You want to live? Okay, it's very simple. Kowtow and beg Ben Shao. Wang Kai glanced at him and sneered disdainfully. Wang Kai, don't go too far. Buzz. Piao Yu clenched her teeth. In a flash, she appeared in front of Qiu Li. She raised her head and glared angrily at Wang Kai. At the same time, Piao Yu was very determined. She believed that Qiu Li would not beg Wang Kai for mercy. Can you get out of my way? Do you want to kill me before you are satisfied? However, as Qiu Li roared, Piao Yu, who was standing in front of him, froze. Her beautiful eyes were dazed, and her expression froze. Thank you, fellow Taoist, silly boy. Piao Hong tipped 10,000 book coins. Chapter 825. Haha, you can start now. Wang Kai smiled disdainfully. With a casual wave of his hand, he pulled Piao Yu to the side and suppressed her on the spot, making her unable to move. Qiu Li's admission of defeat caused the faces of all the cultivators to twist. An unknown rage filled their chests. As a member of the 100 Transformation Starfield, they saw the Starfield Lord lower his head. Everyone felt that they had lost all face. After this, the 100 Transformation Starfield would become a desolate planet where no one could survive. I'm really surprised that you have such an ugly side, Qiu Li, Xuanmiao Empress said indifferently. Her beautiful eyes were filled with disdain. Qiu Li didn't care at all. He had already expected this before he spoke, but it was a matter of life and death. He had no choice. As long as he kept his life, he could still achieve great things after changing his appearance. It was just the 100 Transformation Starfield. As long as he was alive, he would have a place to live. Thinking of this, Qiu Li clenched his teeth and endured the pain. He bent down and kowtowed. He said loudly, "Please let me go. I'm willing to be your slave." Bang, bang. "Please let me go. Please spare my life." Bang, bang, bang. "I'm willing to give the 100 Transformation Starfield to you. I only ask that you spare my life." Then, before the gazes of the crowd, Qiu Li repeatedly kowtowed. His words caused the faces of the crowd to turn ashen. They turned their heads away, unwilling to continue watching. As a cultivator of the 100 Transformation Starfield, they had already regarded the 100 Transformation Starfield as their own country. Unfortunately, all their glory had been destroyed today. Do you have a wife, a concubine, or a sister? Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and asked with a mocking expression. At the same time, he glanced at Piao Yu. Seeing her cold face and cold eyes staring at Qiu Li, Wang Kai couldn't help but sneer inwardly. I don't have a wife or a concubine. However, I have 136 lovers and a sister. If you want, I can give them all to you. I hope that you can spare my life. Bang, bang, bang. After Qiu Li finished speaking, he kowtowed 3 more times. The skin on his forehead had already split open, revealing his bones. What the F***CK? You want to give the woman you played with to Ben Shao? Do you want Ben Shao to clean the walk for you? F***CK. Bark like a dog, crawl on all fours, and get out of the 100 Changes Star region. Wang Kai frowned and sneered disdainfully. Woof, woof, woof. Woof, woof. Qiu Li didn't hesitate at all. He crawled on all fours, shouting and jumping as he left. Oh, and you can leave as well. Don't appear in front of Ben Shao again. Otherwise, the mystic moon planet will disappear from the yellow region. Let's go. Wang Kai shrugged and said indifferently. Wang. As the restraints on her body disappeared, Piao Yu's beautiful eyes coldly swept over Wang Kai. She silently stepped into the air and left. The blow he had received today was simply too great. How could she have imagined that the person she admired would be so spineless? At the same time, she was extremely regretful. If she had known that Wang Kai had such cultivation, she wouldn't have treated him like that. However, Piao Yu was very glad. Although she had lost Wang Kai's support for the mystic moon planet, she had seen Qiu Li's true colors. Young Master Kai, are you going to let Qiu Li off so easily? Why didn't you kill him? F***CK him. Look at how arrogant he was before. He pretended to be a dignified person, but in private, he's such a piece of trash. How disgusting. Fatty Lou spat out a mouthful of saliva and snorted in disdain. Wang Kai curled his lips slightly. He put his hands behind his back and smiled indifferently. There's no need for Ben Shao to do anything. That Xiao Li won't be able to live. That's right. How could Piao Yu let him off so easily? Xuan Miao Empress said indifferently. Piao Yu had been humiliated in front of everyone, which made her even more disappointed. More importantly, she had lost the help of a freak like Wang Kai. Connecting all the dots, Piao Yu wanted nothing more than a tiered Xiao Li to shreds. Even if Xiao Li had a bit of backbone, Piao Yu wouldn't do that. Unfortunately, everyone had two sides. The brighter the surface, the more righteous the person was, the more disgusting they were behind the scenes. But it had to be said that only a truly smart person would put on such an act. No, Uncle Lu has to go and see for himself. If that Xiao brat isn't dead, I'll give him a few more stabs. F***ck him, he's too pretentious. Whoosh! With that, Fatso Lu stepped into the air and chased after Piao Yu. In response, Wang Kai's lips twitched. He didn't even care about Xiao Li's life or death. Instead, it was Fatso Lu who was getting excited. In Wang Kai's opinion, killing a pretentious piece of trash like Xiao Li would only dirty his hands. Aren't you going to take a look? If Piao Yu takes an unconventional move and kidnaps that damn fatty to threaten you, what will you do? Xuan Miao Empress said indifferently. Whoosh! Hearing this, Wang Kai frowned and sneered with disdain. Would she dare? Xuan Miao Empress frowned but didn't say anything. Now that she knew Wang Kai's true cultivation, she really didn't know if Piao Yu would dare to do that. I didn't expect you to cause such a big commotion. Suddenly, a voice sounded and a tall and sturdy young man with a stiff face walked over in large strides. Yang Wei. Wang Kai's eyes lit up when he saw this. After probing, he discovered that Yang Wei's cultivation was at the peak of 9th grade Starguard. For a moment, he was pleasantly surprised. Heavens, isn't that the head of the 5 great geniuses, Yang Wei? They actually know each other? While many cultivators were shocked, a few more figures quickly appeared in front of Wang Kai. Green and red ghosts, gold one, and a beautiful woman in a green dress. Boss! It really is Boss. I told you, the aura just now was very similar to Boss's. Hee. Boss is really powerful. Even 100 Transformation Star King was defeated by him. I was thinking of killing him myself one day. Immediately after, Yang Wei, green and red ghosts, and gold one all came in front of Wang Kai and knelt on one knee on the ground. We respectfully welcome the sect master. Whoosh! Such a scene immediately caused everyone's expression to change abruptly. Even their breathing was stifled. Heavens! That's green and red ghosts and wild lion gold one. How is this possible? For of the 5 great geniuses of the 100 Transformation Starfield are actually this person's subordinates? They never would have thought that this young man who easily defeated the 100 Transformation Star King would actually be the master of 4 of the 5 great geniuses of the 100 Transformation Starfield. Not bad. Who is this young lady? Don't tell me she's someone's beloved wife. If she doesn't have a master, Ben Shao will have to make his move. Wang Kai squinted and said with a mocking smile, I'm also one of the 5 great geniuses of the 100 Transformation Starfield. We've gathered here to fight against the 10 great geniuses from the outside world. There's no other relationship between us. We're just temporary comrades. If Senior is interested in me, I'm willing to be Senior's concubine. However, before Yang Wei and the others could speak, the woman in a green dress went forward and bowed. Her words caused Wang Kai's lips to twist. It was only a joke, yet she took it seriously. Chapter 826. Even Yang Wei and the others were speechless at this moment. Naturally, they could tell that Wang Kai was just teasing and joking. How could he possibly have any intention of liking her? However, she actually directly declared that she wanted to be his concubine and King sleep with him. Damn it, you've always gotten all the good things. Uncle Lu is still single. Fatso Lu, who had just returned, immediately snorted in dissatisfaction when he saw this scene. He floated down from the sky and sized up the beautiful woman, one of the 5 great geniuses, with his eyes wide open. How is it? Wang Kai asked with a frown. Dead. Uncle Lu wanted to finish off Chiu Li, but who would have thought that not even his bones were left? That Piao Yu is really ruthless, Fatso Lu said with lingering fear. Hearing this, Wang Kai gently nodded. Just as he was about to say something, he was directly interrupted by Green Ghost. Are you a dog's hit? Can you compare to Boss? You think you're single? With your looks, even a ghost wouldn't like you. Green Ghost snorted in disdain. Red Ghost also said in a disdainful tone, That's right. Us 2 brothers are the 7 great generals of the Discord sect. We still don't have a wife. As for you, you're at most a dog's hit. Why are you so anxious? Cut the crap. Although we didn't have a clear winner when we were in the 8 Desolates, it's time for us to fight in the extraterritorial starry sky. Yang Wei said with surging fighting spirit. It doesn't matter if I fight or not. Gold One scratched his head and smiled honestly. Damn it. Fatso Lu's face immediately turned ashen when he heard their words. His face trembled as he pointed at them and roared. You dare call Uncle Lu a dog's hit and a dog's hit? Yeah. What can you do if we say that? If you don't like it, let's fight. That's right. You don't have any ability at all. Why are you acting all big all the time? As soon as the green and red ghosts finished speaking, Fatso Lu could no longer hold back. He immediately waved his arms and attacked them fiercely. F*CKU. If I don't beat you in a dog's hit today, it'll be Uncle Lu's loss. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Beat him. Fight. Bang. Rumble. Rumble. In an instant, the green ghost and red ghost were unwilling to be outdone and directly attacked. At the same time, the 2 ghosts purposefully suppressed their cultivation after discovering that the fatty was only at the celestial origin realm. They fought at the same level as him. Even though this was the case, Fatty Lu was still somewhat powerless. After all, it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. Moreover, the green and red ghosts had made a name for themselves in the 100 Transformation Star region. Hence, they had definitely experienced many big battles. As for Fatso Lu, he could only hole up in one place due to Ku Buddha's seal in the Ku Tua star zone. He was very lazy every day, either enjoying himself or being on guard. It was already very fortunate for him to have reached the celestial source realm. It seems that there's no room for us to make a move. That's good too. Otherwise, he'll say that we're bullying him with numbers. Gold One scratched his head and smiled honestly. Go F*CK yourself. If you're not convinced, then get up here and fight. Do you think Master Lu is afraid of you little bastards? However, as soon as Gold One finished speaking, Fatso Lu's ears twitched. Taking advantage of his anger, he cursed without thinking. Roar! Roar! Upon hearing such provocation, even the simple and honest Gene, he was unable to endure it. He immediately roared a couple of times and transformed into his demonic beast form. That dozens of feet tall, wild lion body that was covered in a golden light was suddenly revealed. Oh shit! Seeing this scene, the face of Fatty Lu, who was weary from blocking, turned green. His entire body abruptly trembled, and he instantly became clear-headed and calm. He secretly felt extreme regret for his earlier impulse. All right, let them fight. Gold One, you don't need to take part. Wang Kai waved his hand and smiled helplessly. If Gold One really did take part in the battle, Fatso Lu would definitely be viciously beaten up. At the same time, Wang Kai secretly calculated in his heart. Looks like he should quickly find Lung Feng and can run. Otherwise, if this continues, won't Fatso Lu be bullied to death? Although it was clear that they were not really fighting a life and death battle, the problem of dissatisfaction still existed. For example, the green and red ghosts, Yang Wei, Gold One, and the others were all cultivators from the 8 Desolates. However, Fatso Lu was not from the 8 Desolates. When the 2 sides met, they would definitely have thoughts of dissatisfaction. Even if he did not stop them, it would be fine. However, fighting a few times every day was really a headache. It would be better to find Lung Feng and Qin Run and let them combine their strengths. Since Sect Leader has spoken, I'll let you go. Gold One snorted coldly. With a flash of golden light, he transformed into his human form. In response, Fatso Lu moved his lips, wanting to rebuke and curse back. However, in the end, he calmly chose not to attack and pretended that he did not hear anything. Sect leader, should we establish a sect in the extraterritorial starry sky? Yang Wei clenched his fists and grinned. Establish a sect? When Wang Kai heard this, his eyes narrowed slightly. He rubbed his nose and asked in confusion, why establish a sect? Cough cough, sect leader, we heard that in the extraterritorial starry sky, without a faction, you can't enter the central star area. Gold One scratched his head and said honestly, that's right. Moreover, even if you have a faction, you can't easily enter the central star area unless you are in the top 10 of various factions. Yang Wei said softly, Central star area? You must have a faction, and you must be in the top 10 of various factions to enter. Wang Kai frowned and could not help but look at Lady Xuanmiao. He said with a strange expression, is that so? Yes. However, with me leading the way, you don't need to establish a faction or participate in any competitions. Lady Xuanmiao said lightly. Whoosh. When she said this, Yang Wei and Gold One looked at her. Naturally, they knew that she was the famous Lady Xuanmiao of the extraterritorial starry sky. However, they did not agree with what she said. It was better to say that Yang Wei did not want to enter the central star area easily. He wanted to have a good fight on the battlefield and then enter openly. However, even if he had such thoughts, he did not dare to say it out loud. After all, Lady Xuanmiao's reputation was there. If he said too much, it would only cause trouble for Wang Kai. They did not know that Wang Kai's current cultivation was enough to suppress Lady Xuanmiao. Let you lead the way? Ha ha ha, think about it. In the yellow domain, is there anyone who dares to stop Ben Shao? To put it bluntly, who can stop Ben Shao? Even if this young master wanted to dominate the starry sky of the mysterious domain, it would be a piece of cake for him. Wang Kai shrugged his shoulders and immediately burst into laughter. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 3rd grade star Venerable Realm. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through to the 3rd grade. You have received 100 star source points. Chapter 827. Hearing this, Lady Xuanmiao frowned and sighed in her heart. She suddenly felt regretful. If she had forcibly brought Wang Kai back to the 9 Heaven Star Zone earlier, he would not be in such a situation where she could not control him. A star venerable, an expert that could not exist in the yellow region starry sky, had been accomplished by Wang Kai. Moreover, he had not been forced to fly into the Xian region starry sky. No matter why he was not restricted, no one could defeat a star venerable expert. If you had not met that mysterious expert in the yellow region starry sky, you might have been able to dominate it. However, with your cultivation, you cannot dominate the Xian region starry sky. Also, the 9 Heaven Star Zone and several other forces have connections with the powerful forces in the Xian region starry sky, Lady Xuanmiao said indifferently. Whoosh! Wang Kai's pupils shrank when he heard this. He naturally understood what Lady Xuanmiao meant. The 9 Heaven Star Zone and several other powerful star zones in the yellow region starry sky were all connected with the forces in the Xian region starry sky. This proved that even if he was a star venerable, he would not be feared by the 9 Heaven Star Zone and the other star zones because they could find stronger cultivators at any time. The mysterious expert must have been the one who had easily saved poison god Guangxian from Sun Wukong and Neza. Since he could defeat Sun Wukong, who was at the peak of the 9th grade Star King, his cultivation must have surpassed that of a Star King. At the very least, he must be a Star Venerable. In the yellow region starry sky, there were no Star Venerable experts. Lady Xuanmiao also believed that the mysterious expert was from the Xian region starry sky. According to you, no matter how strong Ben Shao is now, he can't dominate the yellow region starry sky and do whatever he wants. Wang Kai squinted his eyes and smiled with his hands behind his back. Exactly. However, even if he can't dominate, as long as he doesn't go overboard, the powerful forces will not provoke you. They will even try to rope you in. Therefore, you don't have to worry about your safety, Lady Xuan Miao said indifferently. Safety? Wang Kai heard this, and the corners of his mouth twitched. In the end, he could not help but laugh. You're saying that Bin Xiao is worried about his safety? I'm not afraid to tell you this. Don't talk about Planet Yellow Domain colluding with Xian Domain Starry Sky. Even if the entire Xian Domain Starry Sky becomes his enemy, Bin Xiao will not be afraid. Whoosh! Hearing this, Xuanmiao Empress's face froze. Her beautiful eyes flashed with understanding. She sighed to herself. Is that so? It seems like I have to inform everyone in the Nine Heaven Star field not to provoke him. Otherwise, before we can contact the forces in the mystic domain, we will be annihilated. In other words, whoever dares to act tough in front of Bin Xiao, no matter who they are, don't even think about having a good time. Of course, Bin Xiao is also a reasonable and moral person. He won't take the initiative to find trouble with anyone. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 4th grade star venerate. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 4th grade star venerate. However, Xuanmiao Empress ignored Wang Kai's words. If he could be so honest, then there wouldn't be any evil people anywhere. Senior, you're so handsome. Suddenly, amidst the silence, one of the 5 great geniuses, the beautiful woman in a green dress, looked at Wang Kai with sparkling eyes. She even opened her mouth to express her love for him. Although Wang Kai liked to be praised and flattered, such a situation made him feel extremely embarrassed. He secretly regretted his unintentional words that had caused this beauty to take a liking to him. Alas, humans can't be too charming, and they can't be too handsome. Their talent can't be so earth-shattering that no one can stop them. Otherwise, their lives will be really tiring. Wang Kai shook his head and sighed again and again. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 5th grade star venerate. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 4th grade star venerate. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai was pleasantly surprised. At the same time, he also sighed with emotion. It seemed that he had to control his bragging rhythm. Otherwise, if he continued like this, he would become too strong and stand too high. His relative loneliness would also increase. As the saying goes, it's lonely at the top. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 6th grade star venerate. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 4th grade star venerate. When the next notification disappeared, Wang Kai rubbed his nose and sighed in his heart. Even his mother's silent recitation is considered bragging. How can he let others live? Bin Xiao obviously wants to be weaker. Little girl, you don't have to look at Bin Xiao like that. We are not suitable for each other. You should know that Bin Xiao is already tired of love and has seen through the worldly affairs. His heart is already in Buddhism. You should find someone else. Wang Kai waved his hand and pretended to be sad as he sighed. Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 7th grade star venerate. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 4th grade star venerate. He actually rejected her? Whoosh! Although Wang Kai still sounded like he was bragging. To be exact, he had undoubtedly rejected the girl's adoration. For Wang Kai, who had always liked beautiful girls, he was actually willing to take the initiative to reject her. Such a situation immediately caused Yang Wei and Gold One to freeze in place. The green and red ghosts and Fatso Lu who were fighting, were also stunned. Even the Xuan Miao Empress frowned. Her beautiful eyes flickered with suspicion. No one could believe, and no one could believe, that Wang Kai would actually reject her. Shouldn't he just nod his head and accept her before taking her into his room? Cough, cough. Why are you looking at Bin Xiao like that? Don't you believe in Bin Xiao's character? Don't you think that Bin Xiao has always been a virgin since he started cultivating? He has never lost his virginity, nor has he done anything inappropriate to any girl. Wang Kai shrugged and said calmly, "Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming an 8th grade star venerate. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 4th grade star venerate." Hearing the notification, the corner of Wang Kai's mouth twitched. It was impossible for him to stop bragging and slow down the speed of his breakthrough. "I believe that what the senior said is true. I am also willing to serve the senior by your side and never leave you for the rest of my life." The girl in the green dress blinked her beautiful eyes, pursed her red lips, and said softly with a smile, Fatso Lu and the others' faces twitched when they heard the words of the girl in the green dress. Even the Xuan Miao Empress didn't believe him, but she actually expressed her trust. If Wang Kai was still a virgin, then pigs could climb trees. Chapter 828. Forget it. However, when Bin Xiao goes out, he does need a maid to accompany him and take care of his daily life. Are you willing? Wang Kai squinted his eyes and said with a faint smile. Whoosh. Wang Kai thought he would be rejected. However, the beautiful lady in the green dress actually nodded and agreed. She even bowed to him. "I, Qing Si, am willing to serve young master." Qing Si? That's a good name. Wang Kai's mouth twitched when he heard that. He didn't care anymore. Since he had already agreed, it would be embarrassing if he rejected her again. "Okay, you 3 stop fighting. Get ready to go to the next star area," Wang Kai said with his hand behind his back. Buzz, bang, rumble. Hearing that, Fatso Lu and the green and red ghosts collided fiercely. Then they retreated. Ahem, for the sake of young Master Kai's face, Uncle Lu will spare you this time, but the next time you try to act tough, I'll definitely beat you until you kneel and call me Grandpa. Fatty Lu gasped for breath as he put his hands on his waist and shouted. The green and red ghosts' expressions were quite ugly in response to this. They swept their eyes over him in disdain and snorted coldly. However, they did not say anything else. If Wang Kai had not spoken to stop them, they would have been able to beat Fatty Lu into submission in another 100 breaths. To travel in the star area, you need a magic treasure like a starry sky warship. Of course, if you have the confidence to deal with the starry sky turbulence that may appear at any time, you can walk in the air, Xuan Miao Empress said calmly. Magic treasure for transportation? Wang Kai frowned when he heard that. Even though he had reached the star venerable realm, he didn't have much confidence in dealing with the starry sky turbulence. If it was a grade 3 starry sky turbulence, it would be fine. With the power of the star venerable realm, he could easily resist it. However, if it was a higher grade, Wang Kai really didn't have the confidence. Moreover, no one knew how much bragging points it would take to break a higher grade starry sky turbulence. You don't have any magic treasures? Wang Kai asked in surprise. If the mysterious empress had it, he would not need to use his bragging points to exchange for it. After all, who knew when he would need it in the future? Previously, when he dealt with the level 3 space turbulence, he had used up all his bragging points. Once my Dharma treasure is activated, it can only fly to the 9 heaven star zone. Also, if you want to better withstand a temporary crisis, the Dharma treasure must be at least at the Star Lord level. Otherwise, the Dharma treasure will definitely shatter in the face of danger, Xuan Miao Empress said indifferently. The flying magic treasure shattered. He vaguely remembered that Drifting Moon's starry sky battleship had not been destroyed when it encountered the chaotic streams of space. Instead, it had been able to endure and resist. Of course, if Xuan Miao Empress and Piao Yu hadn't joined forces, the interstellar warship wouldn't have been able to hold on for long. But no matter how long he could hold on, as long as he could withstand the massive attacks of the starry sky turbulence, it would be enough. Wang Kai raised his eyebrows and asked in confusion, "A Star-Lord level flying magic treasure? What level was Piao Yu's space warship?" "Star King level," Mysterious Empress said calmly. "Star King level. If that was the case, wouldn't the level of a flying magic treasure be the same as a cultivator's realm?" Above the Star-Lord level was the Star King level, and the Star King level was the top level in the yellow region starry sky. As a Star Venerable, if he obtained a Star King level flying magic treasure, he would feel embarrassed. Damn it, she actually gave Bin Xiao a difficult problem. Wang Kai's face darkened, and he cursed silently with a speechless expression. It's strange. Piao Yu has a magic treasure that can fly at will, and it's a magnificent space warship. But you, Xuan Miao Empress, you don't even have one. Wang Kai shrugged and said with a disdainful expression. Wang Kai wouldn't believe that Xuan Miao Empress didn't have one. If Piao Yu had one, how could she not have one? Moreover, if she didn't have one, how did she go from a 9-heaven star zone to the Tianzhou? Could it be that she flew? When she had the space warship, she had to resist the chaotic streams of space. Even Xuan Miao Empress felt that it was extremely strenuous. It would be strange if she could do it by stepping on air. Of course I have one. However, it was destroyed by the chaotic streams of space on the way here. If I hadn't abandoned the space warship, how could I have escaped the chaotic streams of space unscathed? Xuan Miao Empress said indifferently without changing her expression. It was as if escaping from the chaotic streams of space was a very honorable thing. Wang Kai grinned. He didn't expect Xuan Miao Empress to encounter the chaotic streams of space on the way here. She and Piao Yu had to resist them together, and it was extremely strenuous. It was indeed lucky for her to be able to resist them alone and abandon the space warship to escape. Give Bin Xiao a space warship. A Star Venerable level 1. Wang Kai frowned and secretly urged with his mind. Host, a Star Venerable level warship has exceeded the limits of the space you are in. If you forcibly use it to fly, it will consume all your bragging points. Moreover, the bragging points must not be less than 100,000. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai frowned and couldn't help but urge with his mind to summon the system page. Host, Wang Kai occupation, Star Warrior realm, 8th grade Star Venerable title, unparalleled bragging skills, shaking heaven and earth star technique, Karma Dao technique star technique, non-identification, torch dragon eye equipment, ever-changing fan star power, level 6 star source points, 1060 physique, invulnerable protector beasts, Sun Wukong, Zhu Beiji, Sha Wujing, Neza, Silver Horn King bragging points, 109000 experience, 01000000, inch 109000. It must not be less than 100,000. Bin Xiao has more than 100,000 now. But I can't just waste 9,000 bragging points for nothing, can I? Wang Kai thought to himself with a frown. Immediately after, Wang Kai opened the system store again and made a selection. In the end, he chose a heavenly halberd that was worth exactly 9,000 bragging points. Its level was also a Star Lord level weapon. As long as he didn't encounter a Star King powerhouse, a Star Lord level weapon was impressive enough. Get this heavenly halberd. Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining a Star Lord level weapon, the heavenly halberd, for 9,000 bragging points. Get the Star Venerable level space warship. Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining a Star Venerable level space warship, the Tyrant, for a total of 100,000 bragging points. Host, Wang Kai occupation, Star Warrior realm. Level 8, Star Venerable title, unparalleled bragging skills, shaking heaven and earth star technique, Karma Dao technique star technique, non-identification, torch dragon eye equipment, ever-changing fan, Star Tyrant, heavenly halberd star power, level 6 star source points, 1060 physique, invulnerable protector beasts, Sun Wukong, Zhu Beiji, Sha Wujing, Neza. Silverhorn, King bragging points, 0 experience, 010000000, Inch Star Tyrant. Heavenly Halberd. Both sound impressive. Unfortunately, their levels are too far apart. One is a Star Venerable, while the other is a Star Lord. Wang Kai shrugged and sighed helplessly. Chapter 829. Host. The Sky Halberd can be upgraded. With 100,000 bragging points, it can be upgraded to a Star King level weapon. With another 100,000 bragging points, it can be upgraded to a Star Venerable level weapon. Hearing this, the corners of Wang Kai's mouth twitched fiercely. In this case, if he wanted to get a Star Venerable level weapon, he would need at least 200,000 bragging points. Thinking of this, Wang Kai couldn't help opening the store and glancing at the price of a Star Venerable level weapon. At first glance, he found that it was indeed 200,000 bragging points. Moreover, battleships were also 100,000 bragging points. Are you fooling Ben Xiao? Those battleships can be bought with 100,000 bragging points, but you said that it would consume all of Ben Xiao's bragging points. Now that Ben Xiao has successfully bought a battleship, he will need another 9,000 bragging points to buy the Sky Halberd. He will need another 200,000 bragging points to upgrade it to a Star Venerable level weapon. He can buy one with only 200,000 bragging points. Isn't it a waste of 9,000 bragging points for Ben Xiao? Wang Kai's face was dark, and his forehead was full of black lines as he urged his mind. Host, in the starry sky of the Yellow region, you can't use Star Venerable level weapons and flying magic treasures. You can only use them by force. Moreover, it is impossible for you to exchange for a Star Venerable level Sky Halberd. Hearing this, Wang Kai's mouth twitched slightly, and he didn't say anything more. In the end, it would consume more bragging points to use a Star Venerable level weapon in the starry sky of the Yellow region. As for how much it would consume, the system didn't have a clear figure at all. It was obviously a trap. Hierarch, if you're talking about space battleships, I remember that the variable Star King has one that happens to be at the Cosmic Lord level. Seeing that Wang Kai didn't speak for a long time, Yang Wei and the others thought for a while and reminded him together. Now that the Variety Star Monarch had fallen, the Starry Sky battleship was naturally unclaimed. A Star Lord level star warship? Ben Xiao is so awesome, but he uses a Star Lord level star warship? Do we match? Wang Kai curled his lips and said with an arrogant expression, "Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through and becoming a 9th grade Star Venerable. Congratulations to the host for successfully breaking through. You have received 100 Star Source points." Host, Wang Kai profession, Star Warrior Realm. 9th grade Star Venerable title. Peerless bragging, shaking heaven and earth star magic. Karma Great Tao magic star technique. None identification. Torch Dragon Eye equipment. Hegemon of stars. Sky Piercer star power. Level 6 Star Source points. 1160 physique. Invulnerable Guardian spirit. Sun Wukong bragging points. 10,000 experience. 0200000000 as the notification sounded. The system page appeared in Wang Kai's mind. My experience has increased to 20 million, and Sun Wukong is the only protector beast left. Even the ever-changing fan has been cancelled. Wang Kai frowned, glanced at it, and closed it with his mind. Sec Leader, the Star-Lord level star warship won't work. We can't go out, Yang Wei said helplessly with stiff face. The green and red ghosts and Fatso Lu were speechless. Of course, they all knew that Wang Kai was just acting tough. Actually, it's not too much to take my warship to the 9 Heaven Star Zone. I can give you a Star King level flying magic treasure. I won't restrict your freedom, Xuanmiao Empress said calmly, with joy in her beautiful eyes. If she could take Wang Kai to the 9 Heaven Star Zone like this, wouldn't it save her a lot of trouble? Even though he was a Star Venerable expert and no one could defeat him, As long as he arrived in the Nine-Heaven Starfield, he would be able to communicate with the forces of the mysterious domain. Then, he would be able to send more powerful cultivators to suppress Wong Kai. Restrict Benshio's freedom? Do you think the Nine-Heaven Star Zone can do that? Besides, even if Ben Shao goes to the Nine-Heaven Star Zone, what can he do? The Nine-Heaven Star Zone will disappear before you can contact the experts in the Dark Domain. Wong Kai shrugged and sneered with disdain. Xuan Miao Empress, who was always indifferent and rarely showed her emotions, showed her joy just now. How could Wong Kai, who was good at reading people's expressions, not see it? How could he not know what she was planning? Along the way, he had met many people, from young to old, and old monsters who had lived for thousands of years. He had even dealt with these people. How could he be afraid of the Xuan Miao Empress, who had been sealed for 100,000 years and had only wandered the world for 100 years? He had been afraid before, but now he was not afraid at all, no matter if it was strength or a calculation. Oh, if you are so confident, then follow me to the Nine-Heaven Star Zone. Otherwise, you won't be able to leave the 100-change star zone. Of course, you can choose that poor Star-Lord level space warship, Xuan Miao Empress said indifferently. Who said Ben Shao doesn't have a space warship? Ben Shao doesn't care about the 100-change Star King's Star-Lord level space warship. Today, I'll let you broaden your horizons. Come out, Overlord of the Stars. Buzz. As soon as Wong Kai finished speaking, a huge black warship appeared in the void. It was as if it covered the sky and the sun. It stayed in the sky, making people feel intimidated. Furthermore, the warship did not possess any means of attack. For example, it did not possess any cannonballs or other offensive weapons. It was like an impenetrable fortress. This is a Star-Lord level warship? Impossible. Impossible. Whoosh. Xuan Miao Empress's expression changed drastically. She looked up at the huge black warship, biting her red lips so hard that they turned white. You have a good eye. This is indeed a Star Venerable level warship. Although it's a warship, it doesn't have any means of attack, because its most powerful means of attack is itself. Wong Kai shrugged his shoulders and said with a smile, with an indifferent expression, it was indestructible and had an amazing defense. It had the same defensive power as a Star-Lord level expert. Moreover, it was so tough that it could withstand a full blow from a Star-Lord level expert. Even if it encountered a level 3 space turbulence, there was no need for anyone to block it. The warship could smash all the space turbulence that attacked it. Where did you get it? Xuan Miao Empress came back to her senses and tried to remain calm. However, her heart was full of questions and shock. She had never thought that Wong Kai could get his hands on a Star-Lord level space warship. Moreover, he had reached the Star-Lord level, but he was not restricted by the starry sky and brought to the dark domain by force. All of this was beyond Xuan Miao Empress's understanding. Who on earth was Wong Kai? He was actually so unfathomable. It's just a Star-Lord level warship. What is it? This young master is a peerless hero from ancient times to modern times. If you want to get me, wouldn't it be as easy as breathing? Wong Kai shrugged and said with a disdainful smile, Congratulations to the host for successfully bragging. You have gained 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Chapter 830. The starry sky was boundless. The incomparably huge pitch-black ship sped through the starry sky. Wherever it passed, it brought with it powerful gales, causing the surrounding stars to tremble incessantly. To the cultivators in the stars, it was as if the mountains were collapsing and the earth was cracking. And the culprit of all this, on the starry sky tyrant battleship, was a scene that could make people go crazy. On the deck, there were 2 tables. At one table sat Red Ghost and Blue Ghost, Yang Wei and Gold One, playing mahjong enthusiastically. At the other table, Wong Kai, Xuan Miao Empress, and Fatso Liu were playing Fight the Landlord. Moreover, behind Wong Kai stood a beautiful woman in a green dress. She was massaging Wong Kai's shoulders with her slender and soft hands. If the cultivators who were in a state of panic due to the tremors of the battleship saw this, they would definitely vomit blood and die on the spot. While they were suffering from the tremors, the culprit was playing mahjong and fight the landlord. F asterisk CKU. Who told you to play 6 cards? UF asterisk king lit the cannon again. It's fine if you lit the cannon, but why didn't you light it for me? F asterisk CKU. Why are you so stupid? Green Ghost slammed the table and stood up. He pointed at Red Ghost's nose and cursed loudly. They had played dozens of games, and Red Ghost had lit the cannon more than half of them. Every time Green Ghost had a good hand, he couldn't play. He really despised it. F asterisk CKU. How would I know what you're playing? Besides, it's useless to only have 6 cards. Do you need me to light the cannon for you? Are you an idiot? Red Ghost stood up and scolded indignantly. F asterisk CK me? You still dare to quibble? Green Ghost snarled with a fierce look. Not only are you quibbling, I'm going to beat you up. F asterisk CKU. Bang. Plop. Suddenly, Green Ghost was caught off guard by Red Ghost's attack. Green Ghost's nose was pierced and blood flowed out, and he was sent flying. It's starting again. We've played 47 rounds, and they've also fought 47 rounds. Gold One scratched his head and said in a rather funny voice. On the side, Yang Wei frowned and said disdainfully, "Don't play if you can't afford to lose. You fight back and forth, but you don't fight with me. Fighting with you is asking for a beating." Gold One was speechless as he muttered, "Bang, bang, bang." However, the green and red ghosts simply couldn't stop at this moment. They were already in a mess. Seeing this, Wang Kai's mouth twitched. He suddenly regretted telling them about mahjong. Young Master Kai, young Master, Lu still has a 3 left, the green-dressed woman whispered into his ear. While she was serving Wang Kai, she also secretly looked at Fatso Lu's cards when he wasn't paying attention. Every time Fatso Lu tried to be the landlord, she saw everything and caused him to lose every round. With Wang Kai's intentional concealment and Xuan Miao's intentional help, she didn't discover anything. Of course, if Xuan Miao tried to be the landlord, the green-dressed woman naturally wouldn't dare to look at her cards. Wang Kai also didn't tell her to look. Damn Fatso. You were quite happy when you played your cards earlier. Now you're at the end of your rope, right? You still have a 3 in your hand. How dare you call yourself the landlord if you don't calculate properly? Wang Kai frowned and laughed in his heart. Do you want it or not? 3 2s and 2 4s. If you don't want it, Uncle Lu is leaving. Fatso Lu shook his big face and smiled rather proudly. I can't afford it, but Xuan Miao can. Furthermore, she can make you bankrupt in one go. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled faintly. Whoosh. Hearing this, Fatso Lu frowned and quickly scanned the cards that were played. Then, he shook his head and said, Impossible. The 2 kings have already been played. It's impossible for the other cards to have a 3. Only the king hasn't appeared. Uncle Lu doesn't believe that the 2 of you have 4 kings in your hands. For kings. Clatter. Suddenly, under Fatso Lu's desperate expression, Xuan Miao Empress slammed 4 kings on the table. Then, with a few consecutive moves, she directly threw out all her cards. Fatso Lu didn't come back to his senses even after he lost for a long time. He thought that he would definitely win this time. Who would have thought that he would still lose? Impossible. Did the 2 of you secretly switch? Cough, cough. Pretend I didn't say anything. Pretend I didn't say anything. Just as Fatso Lu stood up and was about to go crazy, he was frightened by Xuan Miao Empress's indifferent gaze and sat back down in fright. Fatso Lu, remember, if you don't have 2 kings with 4 2s and 4 as, you can't steal the landlord. Otherwise, you'll definitely lose. Wang Kai narrowed his eyes and smiled playfully. 2 kings? 4 2s? And 4 as? Could he even get a hold of these cards? Fatso Lu curled his lips and glared at Wang Kai angrily. He patted his big belly and snorted. Young Master Kai, Uncle Lu has helped you many times, but you haven't helped Uncle Lu even once. I can only say that human nature is heartless. The corner of Wang Kai's mouth twitched slightly. His forehead was full of black lines. He didn't expect Fatso Lu to play moral abduction. Even if the 2 of them were brothers, With Wang Kai's character, it was impossible for him to be at a disadvantage. Oh, the weather is indeed a little cold. It's time to put on some clothes. However, before that, let's make our name known. Wang Kai shrugged and changed the topic. Fatty Lu was naturally very clear about this. Wanting to make Wang Kai suffer a loss was absolutely a fool's dream. We don't even have a name. What's to make a name for? Bragging Alliance? Or the Heaven Sect? We're already in the sky. If you want to fight, you should fight against the stars. Fatso Lu curled his lips and said disdainfully, Sectmaster, I think it's better to call it the Moon Embracing Palace. The Green Ghost and Red Ghost, who had just stopped fighting, shouted in unison. Moon Embracing Palace? Wang Kai raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard this. He had to admit that the Green and Red Ghosts were really smart. The name they came up with was not bad and was very poetic. However, it still lacked a little domineering. What Moon Embracing Palace? Do you think you're a scholar? In my opinion, it should be called the Divine Palace Battling the Extraterritorial Realm. Yang Wei rolled up his sleeves. His eyes were full of fighting spirit as he said, Battling the Extraterritorial Realm. Divine Palace Battling the Extraterritorial Realm? As soon as these words came out, Wang Kai and the others were speechless. Even Xuanmiao Empress frowned. A look of disdain flashed across her beautiful eyes. Why don't we call it the Lion Divine Sect? F*CKU, is it for your family? Does it have to have the word lion? It should be called the Wealthiest Sect. Fatso Lu shouted in disdain. Damn, Fatso, the Green and Red Ghosts can suppress their realm to fight with you. Wild Lion Genie, would not let you go. Thank you for the tip from Mo Shangliu. Chapter 831. Yo-Yo, do you think Uncle Lu is afraid of you? Fatso Lu's face trembled as he stood up and challenged. Damn, Fatso, you're right this time. We support you. Gold One, you've gone too far. Anything is fine, but how can you include the word lion? Even if you want to, you should have the word ghost. The Green and Red Ghosts waved their hands in dissatisfaction. Whoosh. Seeing this scene, Wild Lion Gold One lost his confidence. With the addition of the Green and Red Ghosts and Fatso Lu, he really couldn't beat them. If he rushed up, he would only end up being beaten. I'm too lazy to care about you. The Sect Master has the final say on what to call it. The lousy name you guys came up with isn't any better. Gold One snorted disdainfully. It can be called the Nine Heavens Moon Embracing Palace. The main force is in the star domain. I can get a star for you. Xuanmiao Empress said lightly. Nine Heavens Moon Embracing Palace? Hearing this, everyone rolled their eyes. In the end, wasn't it just adding the two words Nine Heavens in the Nine Heavens star domain? But due to Xuanmiao Empress's power, no one dared to say anything bad. They could only cast their gazes toward Wang Kai. Let's call it the Starry Sky Supreme Mansion. In the mansion, set up the Moon Embracing Palace, the richest pavilion, the unique hall, and the Lion God building. You guys can recruit people to take care of them. Wang Kai shrugged and smiled indifferently. Starry Sky Supreme Mansion. Whoosh. Hearing this, Fatso Lu and the others raised their eyebrows. Even Yang Wei, who had always been belligerent, showed an excited expression at this moment. Starry Sky Supreme Mansion, as the name implied, was the ruler of the starry sky. It was above any force and dominated the starry sky. With such a name, if one's strength wasn't strong enough, once it spread out, it would lead to a devastating blow. However, thinking about Wang Kai's current cultivation, as long as he didn't leave the Yellow Region Starry Sky, it was fine. In the Yellow Region Starry Sky, he could be invincible. Too arrogant. Many forces will definitely not allow such a name. Xuanmiao Empress frowned and said coldly. It could be seen that she was extremely displeased with the name Starry Sky Supreme Mansion. After all, Lady Xuanmiao was the second strongest cultivator in the Nine Heavens Starfield. How could she allow someone else to use such a disdainful name? It's up to him whether he allows it or not. Whoever is not convinced, come out first if you have the guts. Ben Shao guarantees that he will destroy his entire planet and make him a stray dog. Wang Kai curled his lips and snorted with a disdainful expression. Miao Empress's beautiful eyes were filled with anger, but she could not refute. With Wang Kai's current cultivation, he did have the ability to destroy any force in the yellow region. In the starry sky, there's a universally recognized rule. If you want to establish a force, you must have disciples, elders, protectors, and so on. Of course, more importantly, you must have a star as your foundation. This is a matter of face for every force. Of course, if you don't care about face, you can also establish your own force, Miao Empress said lightly. In the end, he just didn't want the name of Starry Sky Supreme to appear in the world. Wang Kai's face darkened, and he snorted with disdain. Isn't it just a star? The 100 changes star field is not bad. Let's do it. Wang Kai waved his hand and said casually. The 100 changes star field, is not in the center of the yellow region. Of course, there is no harm in using it as your foundation planet. However, your status will be lower than the central star field, Lady Miao Empress said with a faint smile. Bang! Hearing this, Wang Kai suddenly became angry. He slammed the table and sneered with disdain. Isn't that simple? When we reach the central star field, we will take the 9 heavens star field first. Bang! Hearing this, Lady Miao's face turned cold. She slammed the table with her jade-like hand, stood up, and scolded angrily. How dare you? You're the one who is being presumptuous. You're making excuses. Ben Xiao wants to establish a force. Even if there is no star field and no disciples, so what? As long as he has enough strength, who dares to say no? Moreover, this star venerable grade battleship is the best signboard. Which force in the yellow region has it? Wang Kai shrugged and scolded angrily. Whoosh! Hearing this, Lady Miao fell silent. Indeed, star venerable grade battleships did not exist in the yellow region. However, Wang Kai had one. Such a signboard was indeed more prestigious than any planet. Forget it. You could do whatever you want. However, I have to remind you that even in the most powerful sky region, no force dares to use the name Starry Sky Supremacy. You can think about the trouble it will bring. Lady Miao Empress said lightly. In response, Wang Kai waved his arm and sneered arrogantly. Others don't dare, but it doesn't mean that Ben Xiao doesn't dare. It's settled then. Starry Sky Supremacy Mansion will be the name of our force. There is no other reason than that we are Starry Sky Supremacy. Congratulations, host, for successfully bragging. You have received 10 million experience and 10,000 bragging points. Congratulations, host, for successfully breaking through to the first stage Starry Sky Supremacy. Congratulations, host, for successfully breaking through to the first stage Starry Sky Supremacy. Congratulations, host, for successfully breaking through to the first stage Starry Sky Supremacy. Host, Wang Kai Occupation, Star Warrior Realm. First stage Starry Sky Supremacy title. Unparalleled bragging skills, shaking heaven and earth star technique. Karma Dao technique star technique. Nun identification, torch dragon eye equipment. Starry Sky Tyrant, Sky Piercer star power. Level 7 Starry Sky Supremacy. 1, 260 physique. Invulnerable guardian beast. None bragging points. 30,000 experience. 0200000000. Hearing the notification, Wang Kai frowned and looked at Sun Wukong's name that had disappeared from the guardian beast. Seeing that his star power had been upgraded to level 7, he was filled with emotions. He was now so strong that even Sun Wukong was not as strong as him. Besides, with level 7 star power, he could be considered a peerless genius. If he reached level 8, he would be like Miao Empress and Piao Yu, the son of a god. However, for Wang Kai, reaching the 8th or even the 9th grade was not his goal. His goal was to reach the strongest level 10. Arrogant. Ignorant. Being too arrogant will bring endless trouble. Miao Empress said indifferently. In the blink of an eye, she disappeared in a flash. She couldn't stand Wang Kai's pretentious act anymore. Insensible bitch, Lon Lon, come over and massage Ben Xiao's shoulders, Wang Kai said casually with a shrug. Yes, young Master Kai. Lon Lon, the woman in the green dress, hurriedly responded and reached out her hand gently. Who is the closest to here? Host 1,500 kilometers to the left. I see Star, Lu Tian, the soul-devouring ghost emperor, and the white-bone ghost king. Among them, the soul-devouring ghost emperor is in a weakened state and is in danger of dying at any time. Congratulations, host, for successfully snooping. 10,000 bragging points have been consumed. Whoosh! Hearing the notification, Wang Kai's face suddenly grew sullen and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.